right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to go live. We're going to check this out. Once again, messing with all my sounds. So we'll see how that goes. We got a bit of a different live going on today. Couldn't connect. Why can't we connect? Hello? Are we on? Am I on TikTok? TikTok, can you see me? If you are just tuning in, make sure to tap the back of the screen. Make sure you are sharing the live out. Let's make sure if you are watching on YouTube that you are liking, subscribing, sharing. Make sure to change it or to share it over to your Discords or your Facebook, social medias, that all that good stuff. We got a bit of a different multi-topic live today. We got MAGA is failing, Christian nationalism is bad, and you should support the LGBTQ pride. So yeah, if you do not agree with any of these, or you would like to discuss them, we can have you up if you want to just hit the little request button. Otherwise, if you are watching on YouTube, you can go to tinyurl.com/deconcall and I can get you on the call. So yeah, how's everybody doing here? Okay, we do have one person in here. All right, so we are good on TikTok, I believe. Can you hear me, everybody? If you can hear me, just say hi. Make sure you're tapping on the back of that screen, sharing the live out, and yeah, let's have a little fun, huh? Let's see, I can turn up my little music here. Oh. Don't want that going. How's everybody doing? Are we having a good Wednesday? It's hump day. I'm sure that Joel is probably doing hump day dump day. I would like to do a little bit of is it okay to be a Christian and a nationalist but not a Christian nationalist? What do you mean by a nationalist, apple of my eye? Because nationalism, I would say overall, oh, is it Tuesday? Why did I think it was Wednesday? I'm off. Don't mind me. It's Taco Tuesday. Sorry, it is not Wednesday. You take pride in your country and want to put it first. So nationalism to me would mean like everything, everybody like does the same thing, like nationally, right? So like Christian nationalism means like it's a nation of Christians, right? And we like what you're mentioning is like patriotism. I think patriotism's fine. I can turn off my little music there. All right. But yeah, as people are coming in, Sharia law is evil. I would agree. But I would also say that Christian nationalism is pretty close to Sharia law, if you ask me. But that's just me. Pride is a sin. I disagree. I think that having pride in something is fine. I don't know why they say pride is even a sin. Let me see. Where does it even say that pride is a sin? Verse. Let's see. Oh, is that in Proverbs? Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. So yeah, they're saying like pride comes before the fall. I mean, I guess like if anything is like good and you're happy about it, you know, when it falls, it's going to make it seem worse. But like, why is like LGBTQ pride a sin, right? That's what I would like to know. And if you would like to join up as a caller, you can just type in this little URL at the top there, tinyurl.com/deconcall, DECONCALL. Yeah, and we can have a little discussion. For those of you watching on TikTok, if you want to join in on the discussion, there's a little request button down here. It's a little pink and blue guy. And yeah, we can talk that way. Let me see. Okay, so I cannot hear the audio output. I'm just going to have to move it to, let me see. Actually, I can do this and do output. Let's do monitor and output. Now can I hear it? There we go. Oh, I don't want to output. I just want monitor only. All right, cool. Thank you for tapping that screen. Let's try and get this live up to like 5,000 if we could. Share the live out. I'm not sure who else is live, but I'm sure that my live is going to be way better. You know, let's talk about a few things. We could talk about religion. We could talk about politics. We could talk about the depositions that the Clintons just had. We could talk about why the hell are we in Iran? Why? I don't know. We could talk about how MAGA is just failing. Why should I support the LGTV community? What is LGTV? Like LG, like the brand for TVs? I support the original LG movement, but not others. Is too much, bro. Okay, Bob. I don't know what you mean. Isn't it supposed to be LGBTQ? LGBT? Oh, LGBTQ? Why not? Why can't it be LGBTQ? I don't think there's like really, you know, one that goes before the other in my eyes. But good catch. I guess I didn't notice that. I can change that. Yeah, bi is too much apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why that would be too much. If you ask me, everybody's like a little bit, you know, fluid with their sexuality. So I think bi applies to more people than people realize. Well, what should I do to fix number 2, J-Rab? Did oh, Christian? That's this stupid keyboard. Here, let me see. Christian nationalism, LGBTQ. There we go. Fixed. All right. Yeah. Let's try and get this live going. And let's get a little discussions going. I'm not sure that TikTok is going to be pushing me out, so make sure you're liking the live, you're tapping the screen on the back there. Let's try and share it out. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I have a way to share out my live anyway. I could try and do it this way, I guess. I'm not sure. When I'm on computer, it's a little bit different. You can't really just like share out the live like you could anywhere else. Oh, maybe I can share the live. What happens when I click that? Thank you for tapping on the back of the screen there. I will share out with let's just share out with everybody. Sure. Just send it all out. Just send it out there. 1 and 2, but you sure 3. No one should have to support anything they don't want to. We can discuss it. I think that it would be beneficial for you. Oh, Chopperly, did I already send it to you? Support scrupulous gays, sure, not dirty people. Pride is a negative emotion no matter what context. Okay, Dean. Dean San, I would like to, if you'd like to talk about it, go to tinyurl.com/decon call and I can bring you up. Oh, thank you, Chopperly. Appreciate you. All right, let's see. Who else? Well, how else can I get this out? Let's try and push this live out. Democrats embarrassed to be Democrats. I'm not really a Democrat. I would say that I have to like begrudgingly vote Democrat, but nowhere do I mention that I'm a Democrat. Democrats' favoritism, lowest rating in 35 years. I mean, yeah, once again, hey, Danielle. I'm not quite a Democrat, so that's not really like, I think they should do better, regardless. So yeah, their low rating is not like a big issue to me. But man, is MAGA not doing so well either. That's all I gotta say. Let's see. Do I support it? To think that others should be as well is just isn't reasonable. I don't. Hey, Volsey. What's going on, buddy? Trying to get some conversations going here, but it's going to take a little bit of time, I think. WLGB, Edna says, why not the TQ or the IA plus? There is no guest box in your. Oh, what? There should be. Well, if there's not a guest box, there should be a little pink and blue guy on the bottom there. My multi-guest feature is on. Okay, Volsey says he sees a guest box. Maybe you're watching on a PC. If you're watching, oh, TikTok's been glitching all day. Oh, wonderful. Well, we do have another way to take in guests. If you have a browser on your phone, you can type in this little tiny url.com/deconcall, and I can get you on. You got to click on the people. Oh, what? And like invite them? Oh, this is a little bit different. Hold on, Volsey. I'm going to see what this does. You don't have to come up, or you can. Hey, what's up, buddy?
See, I could come up. So you just gotta invite them, and there's the little blue and pink people on the bottom. I could see them, so I'm not sure why Edna doesn't.
Yeah, okay. I got Apple on my eye here. Let's see.
Hey, what's up?
All right, Apple. Volsey, if you want to stay up, you can. Otherwise, if you're busy or something, I just wanted to check that out. Apple, can I get your age real quick?
Okay. I'm 26.
All right, and what would you like to discuss?
Could I talk about points 2 and 3?
Sure. Okay. Which one first? You want to talk about 2?
Yeah, let's talk about 2 first. So, I actually kind of agree, because I think like a Christian nationalist government would be kind of difficult because, obviously, like we welcome other religions in this country, and I think the issue is if you try to like silence one religion, they're going to try to silence you as a Christian, right? It's going to end up backfiring and going in your face. So I don't think that works. However, I think you can be a Christian and a nationalist. And I was saying that in the comments. I determine nationalism is, having pride in my country and wanting to put it first, right? Try to put the citizens first.
But it's more about sharing like a language, a single culture. I mean, like enjoying the history, I guess, is fine. Like having like a shared like pride in the history or what have you of America. But it's more of a like, an emphasis on, like everybody is pretty much the same. That's how I would view like nationalism. Like what you're describing to me sounds more like patriotism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna add that real quick. What you're describing is patriotism. Patriotism is fine. Having pride in your country, having pride in the cultural heritage of your country. That's all good and well. Nationalism is a supremacist ideology. Like my nation is better than others and would like to exclude others.
Mm-hmm.
That's what nationalism is. That's what led to World War I and World War II, which is why people are against nationalism today. We're just so far removed from that time that nationalism is now making a kind of a comeback, thinking that it's not a bad thing. But it's what led to both world wars, which is why a lot of people are against it, if you really know history.
Sure. Could I maybe describe it like this? So I believe like that diversity is a good thing, meaning that we can have people coming from different countries. That's totally fine. But I do believe assimilation is also a good thing at the same time. Because I think most nations, not just America, have a cultural identity or a cultural core. And so even if people are different and they're bringing different ideas and stuff, we all kind of have to submit to one kind of set of values, lest we start contradicting each other and then we're not unified anymore. So I feel like to come to a place of unity, we have to agree on some kind of cultural core. And in my opinion, that cultural core does stem from European influence. And I think that people from various differing ethnicities and cultures can actually be in line with that and be unified with that.
I don't know if I would agree completely. I would say that there are some things that are truly American, but I think it's something that like YT people have a problem with because they want to claim it for themselves. Where like jazz music, right? That's strictly American. It was created in America, and it was not really. It was influenced maybe by Africa. I would also say like a lot of music that's popular in America was also influenced by Africa. So like when it comes to culture, I would say music is a big thing regarding culture, and to say it's just European would mean like polka. Is our I don't know. It just seems to me like a little bit narrow minded in a way to say like it's only European. Where I would even say that like African like and even some Asian like influences should be recognized. Maybe that's what America is, right? Is like this melting pot, like they always say.
I think you can have both. Like, I think you can have, Asian restaurants, Asian music, African culture, all those things. I wasn't talking about necessarily the music or the food that we eat or the festivals we engage in, but I was talking about like the kind of morale, like the morals, the things that we all agree are acceptable and are not acceptable in society. Like, I think that you can kind of pull that from European culture because that might differ from Middle Eastern culture. You know what I mean?
So hold on. Can I just point out something to you real quick, Apple?
Sure.
What we have to figure out. One thing that we need to recognize is that values change, right? Because if you say that all of our values are heavily influenced by European culture, someone like myself would then say that's a bad thing because people who look like me are discriminated against in society, both back then and now. You see what I'm saying? So like if that's what we're gonna go by, we have to look at the different perspectives. And not only that, like sure, we can say that everything that we all the values, freedom and liberty, all that good stuff, all that came from like the Enlightenment era, right? But it's not like no other culture had that. Yeah, I mean, other cultures had that. It's just that because of colonialism, Enlightenment era is the one that we know about the most. But there were, civilizations and kingdoms in Asia and Africa that had the exact same ideas. They just didn't write them down or institutionalize them because they were basically like a given, essentially. We didn't have to write it down. We just kind of knew what it was. Like Africans didn't have to write down that women were equal to men. They just kind of accepted it as a given. It wasn't written down, but Europeans wrote it down. You see what I'm saying? That's the only difference. So it's not like these things came from Europe or came out of there. We all had it. It's just that, it was institutionalized in Europe before everybody, not even before everybody else, but it was just institutionalized there and not everywhere else. See what I mean?
Yeah. No, I can see where you're coming from.
Okay. Mike, can I just get your age real quick just to validate you here for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm 21.
All right. What's your take?
So, I actually wanted to get a clarification on what you think Christian nationalism is and why do you think it is bad?
So Christian nationalism to me is that the nation should recognize Christianity as the official religion, right? That everybody should be pretty much Christianity becomes part of the main image when it comes to what we consider US, the United States as a nation. So recognizing it as a Christian nation.
Yeah, well, a vast majority of countries, especially the successful ones, have built up from having some kind of religion in place at the start and going off of that. If the United States didn't, founding fathers weren't religious, they would have no reason to say that you shouldn't kill other people or do other stuff. So, Christian at that time was beneficial to the way that things are now, in the same way that it was in countries in Europe.
So, that Japan is one of the most advanced civilizations,
they're
countries, right?
Yeah.
They're not religious, right? They're atheists for the most part.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about majority now. I'm talking about how they started and how they developed and how they grew together. Okay, how they can build a basis for ethics and say this thing is right and this thing is wrong. Because in an atheist perspective, there is no justification for morals, and only in atheism there's only subjective morality.
That's the same thing in Christianity, though. All religions are subjective moralities.
No, that's actually quite different.
No, it's not.
What I wanted to talk about,
Mike, hold on.
It's kind of rude to interrupt someone. So
I got you, but you interrupted me. I wasn't done saying what I was going to say.
All right, go ahead.
The reason I was going to say is that it's subjective is because, again, Christianity isn't the only religion on the planet, right? There's Hinduism, there's all that good stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
Right, but so that's what I'm saying, that Christianity is clearly subjective as well. You just can't say that,
I
you
never
know,
said
atheism.
Christianity was the only religion. I'm
Right.
saying that as a belief system, as a basis, that's where you can sprout whether it's subjective or objective morality, what you believe in. If you believe that there is no God or any creator of the universe that set rules in place for it, then you don't have an objective morality, and your morality would just be based on
Okay,
your personal beliefs
but you
and
don't
opinions.
have.
But if
So
You don't
I'm going
have
to
that
stop you
can
either.
I
there.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
finish?
saying.
you don't have objective morality either, right? Like,
Can I finish?
where are
I'm
these
sorry.
morals? Where
All
are
right.
these objective
So,
morals? Like can you show me in the Bible like the definition, like the objective definition of anything? Like usually I say schmurder. Like what is the
okay.
objective definition of schmurder?
Okay. Well, in the Ten Commandments, it literally says, "Thou shalt not unalive," right? Or not, or like
Okay, is that
you know,
schmurder then, or is that just unaliving somebody?
that would be murder. So, but when it's talking about "Thou shalt not" murder or whatever, it's specifically talking about people as it's mentioned multiple verses in the Bible. There's a lot of other stuff when it comes to it. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of things that it just says is right and a lot of things that it says is wrong. And if you actually look more into science and you try and get a better understanding of how it works, you can get a better perspective on the complexity of our universe to try and understand if there really is a God or not, you know? And that's what I've done and seen which
Yeah,
religion
I
or
would also
belief
say that
system makes the
I've
most
studied
sense.
science, and I disagree. I see the absence of a designer or creator.
All right. Do you
Also,
know a little bit
and
about general
you're
relativity? All right, and special
yeah,
relativity?
yeah. What do you like? Like, what do you want to know about
Okay, so you agree with the
general
CMBR, is that
relativity?
correct?
What's that?
Do you agree with the CMBR and do you
The
understand it?
cosmic microwave background radiation? Yeah, that's like proof that the Big Bang theory is true. Like there's an expansion of the universe as we
Yeah,
know
and there
it.
was an expansion of the universe from a point, from an extremely
Yeah,
hot and dense point.
that just no. Actually, it just means that
Yeah, that's
the
literally what the Big
universe
Bang
can be
Theory is.
traced back to one singularity, right, or one point. But that doesn't mean that time stopped or anything. Like we can say
I never
that,
said time stopped.
or like
Never
time
said any of
started.
that.
Even I would say that we went from a state of like all entropy to a state of like, or I mean zero entropy to a state of like all entropy. So it is more complex than just like, oh, everything just started, right? It could be that the universe as we know it started, but there could have been
Okay,
something
so
before.
if your view um is that the universe started as a singularity, then what do you think would have caused the singularity to grow into a universe?
So I mean it could be that there was, like I said, zero entropy, and then quantum fluctuations, if you follow quantum
Oh
mechanics.
yes, okay, that's what a lot of atheists like to use. But the thing
It's
is that
just
the
this is just
singular
one
can
answer,
I
right? It could be that there's a multiverse theory, right, and that another universe
Yeah,
like
that's the
collided
only
into
other
ours.
explanation. Listen, I wanted to talk
I'm
about
saying there's
specifically
more
quantum.
than just God, like
Okay, listen, what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to prove to you that there's only two possible situations where it's
okay,
either a god or a multiverse. That's what I'm going to prove that to you right now.
but
Yeah,
So when
why
it
not?
comes
actually, Mike, can I interrupt real quick? I'm sorry. Number one, we're way far past what we were talking about before when it comes
Right,
to morality. But number two, there are not only two options. The other options could be a natural process that we simply don't know about yet. So at this point, the only thing anybody can say is I don't know, and that's the most honest answer you can give.
right,
Yeah, well, the fact is that if the universe is all that exists, as far as we know it, then there can't be anything that's outside of everything that exists. That's just not possible. Okay, so in that case, it would be expanding. Couldn't expand into anywhere, and that's another weird thing about it. So I wanted to just keep going and talk about how quantum fluctuations and the way they're designed is that they also happen at a size. Different wavelengths have different sizes and lengths. So when you go so far to a singularity, you're smaller than the quantum realm. you're in the area and size of black holes at that scale. At that level and such an infinitesimally small area and space, quantum fluctuations can't happen because quantum fluctuations are much larger than the size of the universe at that point in time.
Would you agree
I'm
or
lost.
disagree that like quantum uncertainty is a thing, right? Like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is that something that we we see, we notice, we've observed?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, like quantum
Oh,
uncertainty,
okay.
is a thing, right?
Okay.
So
Well,
what
I'm
that
trying to
means,
say,
hold on. So the wave function, what you mentioned earlier too, is partly true. So with the wave function, the way that works is, since we can't really, like, due to uncertainty, we can't really place anything like an electron in one single spot. It's also like what we've
yeah,
discovered with the quantum,
of
or the
course.
double slit experiment, and that's from a collapse of that wave function. So what that wave function is just covering is all possibilities of like where it could be. And then when the wave function, collapses, that's when we notice things like the wave, like, effect of photons turns into like a particle effect. And then people will say it's because we're observing it. I would say that, since there's technology used to observe it, it does affect the particles. Regardless of that, what I'm trying to say is that, oh, thank you. With quantum mechanics, we can actually, like, work out a lot of different, like, things as far as mathematics, right? And our quantum mechanics and our, like, universe models are based off of an eternal universe, not just one that began like 13.8 billion years ago. So
The only ways that it could be an infinite universe are, one, quantum fluctuations and the big bounce is true and it flows in and out. But I just explained that quantum fluctuations can't happen because
you don't know that, though. We just
a
can't, we
singularity
can't
a
observe that
singularity
far.
by definition is
Just because
something
we
that
can't
has
see it doesn't mean
infinite
it's not
density.
happening, right?
Wait, hold
I
on.
mean, that's what you're saying for God.
A
So
singularity is by definition something that has infinite density and zero volume. If that were true and it did have infinite density and zero volume, then that would mean that there would be no place for the quantum fluctuations to happen because it would be at such a small point that size isn't tangible. That anything beyond that point is
so
called the Planck length. Do you
the
know what that is?
cyclical universe theory actually does not say that, it's like a singularity, right? It's not just this, like, small dense spot, right? It's saying that we went from a moment of zero entropy to a moment of, like, where there's a lot of entropy. So
Yes, but something has to
an
cause it at
uncertain,
such a small
like, a
size.
particle appearing out of nowhere, which is something that could happen with quantum mechanics, could, start a chain reaction. And I'm just
Okay,
saying that these
so
are probable explanations to something like an eternal universe.
do you
Because,
understand that it would be
well,
so
hold on,
small
I'm not
that
done
particles couldn't
talking,
happen?
Mike, please. So you've heard of, like, the heat death, right? Like the heat death of the universe,
Of
where
course.
entropy pretty much says that, like, the universe will, sooner or later, every particle will be so far away from each other that they cannot interact with each other, right?
Yep.
So that's when we have a moment of zero entropy. Okay. So what would restart that? If a particle maybe perhaps, like, appeared out of nowhere or shifted places uncertainly, like quantum mechanics, so that's why I'm saying, like, this is a possibility. I'm not saying that this is the answer, but this is, like, what the cyclical universe, like, model is based off of. The
Okay.
singularity thing is a simplification, along with, like, the age of the universe. That's another simplification that they do to kind of make it easier to like digest. But any scientist should really, like, rephrase it to, like, the universe didn't just begin 13.8 billion years ago. It's just we can only observe back to 13.8 billion years. In fact,
No,
we're not even
most
sure,
atheist
like,
scientists.
that 13.8 billion years is what the observable, like, what the extent of it is. Like, there could be even further out, towards the point of, like, 40 something billion years, is what I've heard.
Yeah,
So
So most atheist scientists don't believe that the universe began 13.8 billion years ago, but all reputable scientists and atheist scholars would agree that the universe expanded from an infinitely small point. And okay, based off of what you're saying, Big Bang, right? So in an infinitely small point, in a point that is so small,
But I'm just saying
the
that it
fact
wasn't this like tiny small point, right? So I was just saying like
you
it could have
just
been
said
a
that it was
moment
a
of
singularity.
zero entropy. Like we can no longer look back, like
Yeah,
with
and the zero
mathematics
entropy thing
as we
would
know
would
them.
be have a size. Actually, it wouldn't have a size because it said zero volume. Okay, like if you can literally search up the definition of a singularity, it is something that is extremely small and is a point in space that has infinite density and zero volume. If
So,
you're okay, by saying this is a singularity, okay, you're saying that it just simply had particles that existed in something that's smaller than the size of particles. Because even though we understand that particles can come out of nowhere, the electrons and neutrons, and even smaller to the up quarks and down quarks, and
mhm.
the gluons and bosons were it was much smaller than even those. Okay, by the definition of a singularity.
Yeah, so Mike, this is the reason why I said that the most proper path to take here is to simply say that I don't know,
Right.
because everything that you're saying, yeah, even though that's true, it does quantum fluctuations does seem to be the right answer, but we don't know how that could be the case. So
Actually,
the only thing that we can say here is that we don't know, and we're just gonna discover more. Like we just can't fill in the gap of that knowledge of, okay, since we don't know what this is, God, like
I
that
never
Right.
wouldn't make
said
any
that
sense.
actually. I said that I was going to narrow it down to two reasons. Either one, there is a God like the one you mentioned, Volsi, or that there is a multiverse. So it's one of those two cases.
Or that there's a natural process that we don't
Right.
understand yet.
Like,
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
why are
don't
you
understand why
so
quantum fluctuations couldn't be a perfectly fine answer to the Big Bang.
I just explained why it couldn't because
Because
quantum
you're saying
fluctuations
because the
happen at the
singularity
quantum
is
level.
so small and dense that quantum mechanics don't work. Yeah, I get that.
No, I'm saying that it doesn't have. I know. I'm saying that quantum mechanics
But
happen with particles at the quantum realm. The singularity would be
realm?
smaller than the quantum particles.
Yeah, so
So the quantum particles couldn't exist to interact with each other to make quantum mechanics happen or work.
we
It'd
don't
be
know that yet,
small.
though, Mike. We don't know that yet.
Yeah, actually, we do. We know the size of atoms. We know the size of quarks and gluons. We know the size of all that stuff. And we know that a
Mhm.
singularity is something that has zero volume. And that means that it doesn't have a size. The other
Right,
things that we did mention do have a size.
right. So that's that. You're talking about the quantum foam, then. Quantum
Okay.
foam doesn't have a size either.
Okay. So define quantum foam for me real quick.
Quantum foam is basically what you get when you get to the Planck length.
Okay.
So
So do you understand that a singularity would be smaller than the Planck length? You do understand that, right?
Yeah, possibly. That's what I'm saying. We
No,
don't
not
know yet.
possibly. It's zero volume. That means there's no size. It's just a point with infinite density.
Right.
so
So what I'm saying is that we don't. Mike, I get everything that you're bringing up. Right. Those are answers that we don't have yet.
That's why I'm saying, based on everything that we know right now, there are only two explanations, which is a multiverse or God. Those are the two
Or a
uh
natural
explanations.
process that we don't understand. Again.
according to
Yes,
this
but
quick
I'm saying
search
the only
here,
ones that we do
quantum
understand,
quantum
as
fluctuations
far
are
as
the
we
most
know,
likely.
those are the only two. Do you understand that?
So
No,
what
I'm not, bro. I'm not understanding that. I'm not
Okay, then
understanding
name
why.
another thing that we do understand other than those
so
two things.
so they call it quantum fuzziness, right? Like the singularity, like it becomes blurry or fuzzy because when you get to like such a dense and small point, we our like mathematics don't work. But I'm not saying that quantum
Yep.
mechanics is perfect, right? So what I am
No, of
saying
course
though,
not.
is that we can sort of explain, through uncertainty that that these fluctuations most likely caused whatever, you know, that initial thing is for the Big Bang, which according to this search in like physics stack exchange, like a lot of different articles online, they would agree. So beyond that, I would agree with Volsi. We just don't know. I would even say that quantum mechanics in physics is just like, you know, ready to be probably like put to bed by some other better model.
Okay.
Just like how Newtonian physics was put to bed by quantum mechanics.
Okay. So earlier, what I was saying was that quantum fluctuations could not happen at that scale because it was smaller than the scale for quantum fluctuations to happen.
Yeah, you're going to have to back that up.
Is that
back that up.
Quantum fluctuations happen at the quantum level. That's the level where quantum particles are at. That's the same level, the same
That means
scale.
nothing to me. Like I don't know what you mean by like quantum level. Like this isn't Ant-Man.
Okay, so there is a macroscopic level, which is the one we're on. There's the microscopic level, which is even smaller. You can use a microscope for that. And then there's the quantum scale, which is even smaller. These are the smallest particles that we know of, where we have protons, we have neutrons, electrons, up quarks, down quarks.
I don't think you're
super
quite
small
understanding. Like I'm not a physicist.
That make up atoms.
But I would also say like there's like the subatomic scale, there's the subproton scale, there's the Planck scale.
Yeah, that's why I talked.
I would say that the way they interact with reality, it may be working through like quantum mechanics because it's so small that we can't quite, you know, locate exactly where they are. But
okay, well,
that doesn't mean like
to
quantum scale.
That we don't know.
You're making
sure
up this new like realm, though. Like I just don't think you quite understand what you're talking about, and I'm not claiming to understand it.
All I'm trying to say.
Okay. All right.
All I'm trying to say
appreciate you, bud.
Is that as far as we understand it right now, there are only two explanations. As far as we understand it right now, at the moment,
you're not explaining this well enough to back any of this up. So like I would suggest that we move on to a different topic.
Okay, real quick. I'm gonna try one more time, then we'll try and move on to a different topic. Okay, so there are very small particles called atoms, and the things that make up atoms, that's the quantum realm. Now these are really small.
Disagree.
But they still have a size.
No, it would be a subatomic like size, not a quantum realm. See, yeah, I'm done with this. All right, Mike, you might want to go read up on quantum mechanics. I am going to bring up this person here and see if you can hear them. Apple of my eye.
Do you guys hear me?
Yeah, Apple eye, I hear you. John, are you there? John, I can't hear you. Say something.
I can hear John. I don't know if you guys
you can hear John?
Yeah.
Why can't I hear John? Output. Is it because I don't have monitor? Hold on one moment. John, can you say something?
Hello.
Okay, now I hear you. All right. If you hear like, can you still hear him, Apple?
Yeah.
All right, John. Can I get your age real quick?
26.
26. All right. And what brings you on?
I support Trump.
Okay, so you support Trump. All right. And what about Trump do you support?
Particularly the war in Iran.
The war in Iran? That's what okay, actually Apple, I'm going to drop you just real quick. Can you hear him though, or is it coming in as an echo? Also, TikTok, can you let me know if he's echoing or not? Also, YouTube.
Are you asking me if I hear him as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
are you hearing more than one of them, I guess is my question.
No, I'm only hearing one.
Okay. Well, it is echoing chopperly. Okay. That was kind of my fear there. Let's see. Trying to think. Why can't I just do monitor only? All right, John. So why Iran?
Why do I support the war with Iran?
Yeah,
Oh, wait, are you asking me or him?
I'm asking John, not Apple.
Oh, okay.
I support the war with Iran because trying to develop nuclear weapons and that could destabilize the region, and it's not in our interest that they get them.
You understand? Okay. Like, let me see here. How can I do this? I'm gonna change some audio settings here real quick. I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second here. All right, John. Can you speak again? Okay, I hear you, but they don't. Let me see. Add a speaker. Let's see this one. Add. All right, John. Can you say something again? All right. So I don't think you'll be able to hear him, Apple. So I'm going to drop you. Sorry about that. Appreciate you coming up, though.
Nope.
I might have you up here with some other guests here in a bit. I do want to talk about this with
Yeah.
John, though.
Sure.
All right, thank you. So, John, Iran. Okay, let's see here. You know that Obama and Iran had made a deal about nuclear proliferation, right? And that deal meant that we had complete oversight over Iran and their enrichment of uranium. And it was up to like only like 6% is what their like limit was. Now, since then, Trump had actually like trashed that Iran nuclear deal and is now like attacking Iran because of this like possibility of a nuclear weapon, which is what we used as a reason why we attacked Iraq. It's a reason why we've used to attack a few other places too. Why do you think, like, first off, do you think Iraq was a success? You realize like Iran is this is like the same thing. It's like copy paste. Sure. Okay. So do you know for a fact that Iran had nuclear weapons, and how could you support a president like bypassing Congress and enacting an act of war? Yeah, so like enough for maybe like power plants, right? Yeah, and who withdrew that? It takes away our oversight. No, because you're not acknowledging that we had oversight when we had the deal. You're saying that we didn't that part of the deal was not that we could go into where they enrich the uranium and look at it and observe at any time. That was not part of our Iran nuclear deal. Okay.
Drawing from the JCPOA allows Iran to increase their enrichment of uranium, which was supported by Saudi Arabia, pointed out how post us pulling out, Iran still did not have the right to enrich uranium. The deal was still valid. Us pulling out of the Paris Climate Accords doesn't allow or doesn't permit other nations to automatically violate the deal that they signed. So regardless of whether we pulled out or not, it's that's not the JCPOA had no clause in the actual document that said that Iran has a right to enrich uranium if any of the nations pull out. That's not how the deal was constructed. And you can check the ICEA documents showing that they enriched uranium beyond what was permitted after 2018. You can check the condemnations by the United Nations for when that they enriched uranium because they had affirmed the deal and affirmed the oversight with the IAEA. So the truth is, like, regardless of whether we pulled out, that still doesn't justify Iran enriching uranium up to 60%, which you only do that if you're pursuing nuclear weapons, because there is no military, medical, or other use at those enrichment levels. I read the entire document.
Okay, but during the deal, were they at 60% enrichment?
No, they were at 3.67%.
Okay, so what changed?
I'm not asking what changed. I'm asking whether they
What
rejected the agreement or
changed?
not.
I'm asking what changed. What, like, why did they all of a sudden start enriching 60%? Is it perhaps that America was the only one that they like were afraid of? Or, you know, like,
Well,
obviously
say,
we pulled out of the deal, right? That's what changed. Trump pulled us out of the deal.
well, I don't think
Agree
it's
or
fair to
disagree?
Well, we pulled out of the deal in 2018.
And it wasn't until 2018 that enrichment levels started increasing, correct?
It was closer to 2019, actually. They still adhered to
So
the
after
deal shortly
2018.
after.
So once again, why did we pull out of the deal?
We pulled out of the deal, well, because I'm not sure we elected a representative who made a determination that the deal wasn't good, so we pulled out of it. But that doesn't invalidate Iran's obligation under the deal. You do realize that, right?
If there's nothing to enforce it, then, you know, like, is it still a deal? I mean, like, based off of an honor, like,
no, what's to enforce it is that Russia, China, the European Union, and the United Nations affirmed the deal with the
okay.
IAEA oversight on it.
Thank you, Dougal.
So even if we pulled out, that doesn't automatically allow Iran to go beyond the enrichment within the deal that they were in.
If we aren't beholden to like enforcing the deal, and they don't think, like, Iran and Russia and maybe even China are allied, right? So, like, this doesn't matter to me. Like, what I'm saying is we had a deal with them to basically keep oversight over their production of weapons grade uranium. We pulled out of that deal. We then used that as a reason why we are attacking them now. So I don't understand. It sounds to me like Trump created this problem and is now ending people's lives because of it.
No, I think that's a false characterization. So,
and like, who are we to say whether or not somebody can have a nuclear weapon, right? Like, we're one of the only countries that have actually used a nuclear weapon on another country. Why are we in charge of that?
Well, it's not just us who doesn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, right? So China doesn't want them to have it. Russia doesn't want them to have it. The European Union doesn't want them to have it. Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, I can name various countries that don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. So it's not just us, but also you're pivoting because what you're recognizing is that in the JCPOA arrangement, there is no clause in there that allows Iran to enrich uranium if any of the members of the deal pull out. That's simply not in the arrangement. When you're enriching up to 60%, you are clearly pursuing nuclear capability because there is no other reason to enrich to that level unless you're planning on developing a nuclear weapon. So that's the real hard pivot here. You're trying to say, oh, well, we pulled out of the deal, so Iran's allowed to develop nukes. Okay, that's not what the deal says. That's not what was understood when the deal was signed.
A lot of things are written on paper, right? Like all of these wars, the ceasefires that apparently happened under Trump. Yeah, they may have happened on paper, like even the Abraham Accords. But if not all parties like in the decision are aligned, then I don't give a shit, right? Like, you have to enforce these things. It's not about just what's on paper. So why is it then that when America pulled out, Iran, and like, I'm not even sure how much we've confirmed about like whether or not they actually had any weapons grade like nukes, but either way, why is it that Iran didn't start enriching until America pulled out? Like, I don't care if they had this arrangement that we pulled out of. We're obviously not beholden to it now. So why should they be?
So Right now, so this is just the first part of my argument. The first part of the argument I'm trying to make is that it's very simple. Iran post 2018 violated the arrangement. You would concede that? Because then I can move on to the second pillar of my argument.
I would say that the arrangement, as
It's
far
a
as
fact they pulled out of
America,
it.
as far as America cares, it was done by the time we pulled out in 2018.
Yeah, but it's
So
not
as an
just us in the
American,
arrangement,
to
though.
me, the deal was done in 2018.
So you're saying
Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't at all. What you're saying is that because we pulled out of the JCPOA agreement, that Iran has a right to enrich uranium beyond what's necessary for civilian use.
Say you and your friends all make a deal that you're going to share. Say one of you won the lottery, and you're all going to share the lottery together. And then you pull out of the deal. Are you expecting them to still like withhold your part of the lottery, or like? I don't understand, like, or that they wouldn't create a new deal.
Really, that's a really poor analogy. I mean, you're talking about a regime.
I'm just saying it's something to where like the deal is no longer what it was, especially when it comes to America. So like,
Okay,
why
so you're
aren't
just
Russia and China like attacking Iran then?
Just to be clear, so you're drawing an analogy between me and my friend entering the lottery and Iran having access to nuclear weapons that could kill millions of people?
Let's say that you guys had
That's a hard pivot, man.
All right, then forget the hypothetical. All right, it's a dumb hypothetical. I'll agree. Why aren't Russia and China enforcing this deal then?
They didn't want Iran to enrich uranium. They
Okay,
wanted Iran to adhere to the deal, which they violated.
So why aren't they enforcing it? Why are we? We aren't part of the deal.
Because we perceive Iran as a greater immediate regional threat, and they're also not going to use or potentially use the nuclear weapons against Russia or China.
Okay, so maybe is it that Iran didn't fear retribution from the deal because America pulled out? Is that a possibility?
What do you mean feared retribution?
Okay, when you make a deal, it has to be enforced, right? Otherwise, it's just on honor. Would you agree?
It was being enforced. There were
okay? If America's not enforcing it, then who is?
The IAEA, which went into the nuclear facilities.
So Russia and China.
Are you going to let me finish?
So you're going into, you're like steamrolling. All right. So what I'm saying is, okay, so we got Russia, China, and whatever other countries. So at the point of where they're at weapons grade enrichment, why is it that America is attacking Iran when the deal was that, you know, these other countries are going to enforce it and America pulled out?
Because there's nothing in the deal that dictates that there's going to be military force if you don't adhere to the deal.
Okay, so it's just odd to me that when America was in the deal, Iran's enrichment of uranium was under control, right? We were at 3-point-something% of enrichment. Now we're not in the deal, and then not long after, Iran is enriching up to 60%. So okay, I don't understand how we're not seeing the like causal relation here.
No, but here's the point, right? So you seem to be unwilling to make this most basic of concessions. So I just want to ask this again so I can move on to building the second pillar of my argument. Iran violated...
You haven't built the first pillar.
The first pillar is solid and it's standing right in front of you, and you're attempting to go around it by not answering the question. But so us pulling out of the JCPOA in 2018...
You're saying that has nothing to do with it.
There is nothing in the JCPOA arrangement that allows Iran to enrich uranium if any of the parties pull out. No, it's not in there. If they wanted to add that clause in there, the international bodies.
Then who's going to do something about it?
No, but just answer the question.
If nobody's going to enforce it, maybe is it possible that Iran, after seeing the U.S. pull out, after seeing Trump pull out of the deal, they thought we can deal with the consequences?
But just answer this question.
Is that possible?
Did Iran violate the JCPOA after 2018? Yes or no?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Finally, now I can build the second pillar in my argument.
Okay. What's the second pillar?
It is fundamentally not in our interests for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. It's just not in our nation's interest.
Is it in our interest for Israel to have a nuclear weapon?
We don't know if Israel has nuclear weapons.
Yeah, why is that?
We don't know. They haven't confirmed that they
No,
have them or
why
not.
don't we know?
Well, I'm not sure. Behind closed doors, we could know, but it's never been officially publicly confirmed.
Does anybody in the world know?
I don't know what everyone in the world knows. I'm focusing on what's been established within the
So-
international forum on these issues. I'm focusing on what
Wow.
nations have officially publicly declared as reality. So we don't know if Israel has nuclear weapons. You cannot point me to one intelligence agency or an international body that has confirmed that they have nuclear weapons.
Right, and there's a reason behind that, right? They don't have to disclose if they have nuclear weapons, right? Like other countries do. Correct?
Under the non-proliferation treaty?
Yeah.
Again, we don't know if Israel has nuclear
So
weapons. So this is
why
academic.
is Israel not a threat?
They could be, but at this point, we don't know.
Well, what the hell? So you're saying that Iran is a much more of a threat, even though they
100%.
don't have any like confirmed nukes, right? But we don't even know if Israel has nukes.
Yeah, but there's a qualitative difference between a regime which is publicly professing that they have a radical religious ideology. They are driven by an ideology which is not tied to anything materially in this world versus what we've seen from Israel. While much of it has been condemned and we don't have to agree with all of it, we don't see evidence that Israel has a desire to use nuclear weapons at this point. Whereas with Iran, we do see indications that they, if given the chance, may use these weapons.
There's a lot of ifs, and like what it sounds to me is that we aren't looking into Israel because we don't want to. And then it also seems to me that we are going into Iran because Israel wants to.
I don't think you have any evidence for that.
Okay. So why is it that every time any kind of like scare with Iran, it seems to like spawn from a hint from Netanyahu? Like it goes back to since like Netanyahu's like started. So like every single time it's like, oh, Iran could have weapons of mass destruction and we're your ally. Like do something about it, America.
Well, people like to try to tie this to Netanyahu, but what about
Why is it called an American Israeli attack on Iran?
because we both, as allies, have a fundamental interest in Iran not getting nuclear weapons.
Okay, so what makes Iran more of an interest for this type of action that is just like completely disregarding Congress? We just made like a unilateral decision with the executive branch to do these actions, and not somewhere else like Venezuela, for instance. Oh, actually, never mind. We actually just took their leader to in a unilateral decision. So I don't understand like where any of this looks good.
Because there is a difference between what we're doing in Iran in terms of trying to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon and those other situations. It's a completely different situation. They're not analogous.
Okay, sure. Do you know? Let's do a little history lesson. Do you know why Iran is considered, like dangerous to America?
A lot of reasons.
Do you know what happened like during the 70s, late 70s with Iran?
The oil scare thing or whatever.
Beyond that, I mean, that's part of it.
Well, I think we did
there was a hostage situation.
Yeah, the Iranian hostage situation under Jimmy Carter, I think.
Yeah, and do you know why? Do you know why they held those students hostage?
Because we couped their government, I believe.
Bingo. Why did we coup their government?
Because we believed that it wasn't in our interest for that government to continue to exist.
Wrong.
Well, if it was in our interest, then we wouldn't have couped them. So
The
it must have not been in
the
our
government was
interest.
overturned because they wanted to nationalize their oil, which is odd because that's exactly what we just did with Venezuela. They wanted to nationalize their oil, and all of a sudden Maduro is being captured.
So you think we're doing targeted strikes against the
Think,
Islamic?
what are you talking about? This is like known fact at this point. We protected the Shah, who we also put into place against what was his name? I can never think of his name. Mogaddesh. Mogaddesh was a democratically elected leader who wanted to nationalize the oil in Iran, which means like for the people of Iran, that would have been a really good deal. British and American interests were not liking that deal at all, because nationalizing the oil means that the British holdings of oil down there and the like American holdings would be null and void. They wouldn't be able to make as much money off of oil that is located in Iran, which to me sounds like it's theirs. So it should be theirs to make money off of. We didn't like that. So what do? Is we ran a coup. We placed into power the Shah, who then actually kind of did some interesting things. Women were liberated for a bit there, but the Shah didn't happen to communicate just like how bad of a leader he was, because what he did is that the poor were like sitting there like living on the streets. They weren't getting very much help. There wasn't much for like social safety nets, and he was holding some of the most like lavish and wildest like parties with like billionaires and millionaires and celebrities, which then built a disdain for that leadership of the Shah, and with it a disdain for America, who placed the Shah in leadership.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean, not to kind of
when the Shah unalived,
can I say something though?
Sure.
Not to kind of shut this whole point down, but this is kind of wildly off the topic of the
no,
initial
I'm giving
debate, which
you
I brought
I'm
up,
giving
right?
you like the whole history of
Well,
why
if
we're
you let-
even
if you
in
let
a
me finish.
conflict.
If you'll let me finish. So I'm not really interested about, our desire for oil overseas or any of this stuff. What I'm interested in is whether it's in our nation's interest that Iran possess a nuclear weapon.
You know what?
Which is,
what would be in our nation's interest is to stop fucking with Iran.
I don't think that's true.
It's like historically proven itself over and over and over again. Not only in Iran, but any kind of regime change that we cause ends up with people radicalizing against the United States. This is how 9/11 happened.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that every regime change that we've done has been unsuccessful. Actually, I would push
Can you
back
name
on
me
that idea. But again,
any
we're
successful
back.
regime changes that you can think of?
Korea, Germany, Kuwait.
Korea?
Yeah, Korea, 100%. After the Korean War, we helped establish their form of government. Same thing we did in Germany. Same thing we did in Japan. Same thing we did in Kuwait. And they all worked pretty well.
Kuwait? You think that Kuwait was also a success?
It wasn't a failure. But I don't want to talk about Kuwait. So, but
what I'm saying here is that regime changes historically have only created more disdain for our country and our people, right? They are now chanting death to America over in Iran right now. You know that, right?
Yeah, but there's no offense,
there's people that are celebrating, but there's also people that are radicalized. And they've been radicalized since the 70s. Even before then, since Mogaddesh got overturned. That's why they always show his face when they're doing the protests. Like there's huge signs with Mogaddesh's face. This is all still very relevant. It's still very much in their national memory, and our sticking our fingers in everything that they do has only caused them to not like us. So I don't understand how you're not understanding that we are creating our own problem here. Like, we are our own worst enemy when it comes to this. Like, really, it's us that did all of this. Like, why the Ayatollah was in power, why Iran is a theocracy, it's America's fault.
Yeah, I mean, so no offense, but this is a pretty low IQ argument that you're giving. So
what are you talking about? Everything that I'm saying is factually true. Like these are things that you can go and read about. Like over and like there's
Well, if
there's
you would allow me to
documentaries.
finish, if
There's
you would
actually a
allow me to
really
finish
nice
your point.
documentary on PBS about all of this. If anybody's interested, look up PBS and look up about the hostage crisis.
Well, I know it's nice to believe that interrupting makes you correct, but it sadly doesn't. So the point I'm trying to make is that not every military, you can't just say like, oh, military intervention bad, regime change bad. Like that's not how you do a proper historical or military analysis on a situation, right? What we're dealing with in the case of Iran, which you've already conceded they violated the JCPOA agreement that we withdrew
Which
in
no one was
2018.
enforcing.
It
Nobody
was
is
enforced by
enforcing it.
by the IAEA.
Okay,
were
then
doing
why
the
aren't they
measurements
doing
and-
something about it? Why are we?
Okay, so
Why is America?
so but
Why is
regardless, so-
America pulling out of a deal that they then surprisingly and coincidentally started enriching uranium right after?
do you
Then
think they
why
were
isn't it
justified?
the rest of
Do
the
you think they were
signers
justified?
of the do I think they're justified?
Do you think Iran is justified in pursuing a nuclear weapon?
Now that's a pivot.
No, it's not. You just said
Yes,
surprise,
that's a
surprise, they
pivot.
enriched. No, you just said surprise.
I'm saying that
surprise, they
America,
enriched.
when they pulled
No,
out of the
answer
deal,
question,
has no
answer the
backing.
question. No, answer the question.
No, I am
Is
answering the
Iran
question. If
justified
America
in
pulls
enriching
out of
uranium?
if America pulls out of a nuclear deal, then we have no like ideological or any like reason, ontological reason to enforce anything, right? If the deal is broken between us and them, then the deal is no longer there. So
That's not
what's
true.
stopping them?
I already
Nothing is
demonstrated
stopping
that's
them,
not true.
obviously, because they've been enriching up until 60% after we pulled out. So it seemed to me like maybe we were the only thing stopping them. So why did we pull out of the deal? Because
So
Trump didn't like it. Because Trump didn't like that Obama probably. This is a
is
guess.
this a monologue or am I
Well,
going to be allowed
you're
to
just
make an
really. I
argument?
mean, talk about low IQ. You're not even answering these questions like correctly. So
Dude, I
Trump
don't think you realize
was jealous of
but I've actually
Obama.
pretty much-
Is pretty much what
I'm
taking from it.
You're pivoting to emotions, like I mean, no offense, like I've actually kind of.
This isn't some like Philbro debate. This is
No,
just
but
like
I've crushed
realistic.
you in the debate, like up to this point. Like you're
Okay.
getting demolished. You're getting. hit
I'm
from
getting
every
demolished.
angle. You don't know how to respond. But let me just finish that point. So, as I already established prior, which you already conceded, Iran violated the JCPOA agreement after we pulled out in 2018. Us pulling out in 2018 did not, nor was it understood as a justification for Iran to enrich uranium beyond the 3.67% level that was established.
Then why
in the
did they start
arrangement.
Why did they start enriching?
Because
after
because the entire arrangement, right? They have a desire for nuclear weapons because they're a radical Islamic fundamentalist regime that
Sure.
wants to use that leverage of having a nuclear weapon in the same way North Korea does. But the difference is, and this is where really point number 2 comes in, a radical religion like this does not have interests that are worldly, right? We know that Putin wants to build some Russian empire. He wants to satisfy some sort of post, Soviet Union fall restoration of a Russian empire. Like he has a very worldly desire. We're dealing with a regime that has beliefs of martyrdom, beliefs of holy war. They have beliefs that increase the likelihood that nuclear weapons will be used. That's the fundamental distinction and why it is disanalogous to the other situations you brought up.
Historically, we can trace back to why the theocratic like this religious ideology is popular in Iran.
I don't
And that's
care why
because
it's popular.
of
I care
America.
that it is.
We
I don't
did
care
it.
why it's popular. I care that it is, and that they can't have nuclear.
Why don't
weapons.
you care that we are the reason why it's popular?
Because I don't care. What happened in the past doesn't change the reality now. We're here now. We're dealing with a regime that wants to pursue nuclear weapons.
So you
that
don't
is
care
driven
about
by-
history. Like,
No, I care about
you're
history,
doomed
but-
to repeat it, obviously, because that's exactly what's happening right now. The same shit happened with Iraq. The same shit happened with Afghanistan. The same shit has happened with Kuwait. The
So what
same
would you
shit is
recommend we
happening
do?
all over
If-
the Middle
if-
East.
If the 4-star general said, "Look, we cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Cannot happen. Must not be allowed to happen. Probability of catastrophe huge. potentially tens of millions of deaths, hundreds of millions of deaths, must be stopped at all costs. What would you do? And by the way, Biden already proposed the JCPOA going back into that deal, and Iran rejected it. So
going back in, well, why would you go back into it after you pulling out?
So
like the deal was already made.
Question,
we nullified the deal between us and them.
No, we didn't nullify the deal.
Between us and them, we did.
It's not just between us and them. It's a multilateral, multinational deal.
Bro, I don't give a shit about what Russia and China think, okay? I
what
give
about
a
the
shit.
European Union and the United Nations?
Obviously, Trump doesn't give a shit about them either.
Well, let's focus on what... No, but
so let's focus on America and Iran. The relations between America and Iran.
Or we can focus on the totality of the reality of the deal.
We didn't have any problems up until, I mean, there were probably problems. You know, there's a lot of ire against America. But as far as like when it came to nuclear proliferation and enrichment of uranium, the deal was good. Trump pulled us out of the deal. America and Iran's deal when it comes to nuclear weapons split. Does that make sense now?
No, not at all. Like what you're
chat, does that make sense to you?
No, because dude,
one's in chat if that makes sense to you.
Dude, the deal was not only between us and Iran.
Thank you,
It was us, Russia, China, European Union, the United Nations affirming the deal.
Thank you, Evan.
No, dude, you can try to act.
Thank you,
That's
Bobby.
not what the document
Thank you,
says,
Ryan.
man. You're reading names as if that justifies your argument. It just doesn't. But look, so there's nothing.
No, what it shows is that they understand it, but you don't. You're steamrolling and you're trying to breeze past this fact that I'm like presenting to you. When it comes to America and Iran and nuclear proliferation, the deal was done when Trump pulled out.
So do we have a right to use nuclear weapons against Iran then? Since there's no deal? Since there's no deal, you just said there's no nuclear arrangement between us and Iran.
Why the hell would we use nuclear weapons when we have like ICBMs? Like we can accomplish way more than using like nukes, right?
But you just said there's no requirements because of that. We're no longer in a sort of nuclear agreement with Iran. Why can we not use that? The reason we can is because we're part of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which is a multinational agreement, just as the JCPOA was, which is why even if we pull out, the deal is still valid between Iran and the European Union, China, Russia, the United States.
Once again, then let them deal with it. Why is America getting involved? Why is America getting involved?
There's nothing in the JCPOA.
Just because you're saying pivot does not change the fact that America pulled out of the deal. If America's not in the deal, then why would they try and enforce a deal they're not part of? Why wouldn't they just say America first? Let's worry about what's happening in America and let Russia, UN, China, let all of those guys that are still in the JCPOA deal with it.
So I'm gonna ask you this.
Is that not what the deal was supposed to be? A part of your argument was that the deal was still in place, right?
This is along with these other talking over me, thinking this makes you correct. It doesn't. You're not allowing me to finish my point, right? You continue to interrupt when I try to make an argument. I mean, are you going to let me make an argument and then I'll stop and
Go
then
ahead.
You continue?
All
okay,
right, we can take turns here.
There is nothing in the JCPOA document. Nothing. You cannot pull it up and show this. That it says if any of the existing states of this deal pull out that are in the arrangement with Iran, that they have the right to enrich uranium beyond the listed agreement. So that invalidates their right to enrich uranium beyond the 3.67% level, which they signed off on. Regardless of whether we pulled out, they are still in the arrangement with those other nations.
What authority then takes like the consequences of this deal?
It's a non-militarily binding agreement.
Okay, so what is binding that agreement? Honor?
No, I believe, I don't remember off the top of my head, there were certain sanction provisions or something, but nothing militarily.
So why aren't sanctions being placed?
Well, we did place sanctions on Iran, but
and
I think so did
we pulled out of the deal.
Actually. Yeah, no, I know, but the point I'm trying to make is, do you believe? Just answer this question: do you believe that Iran should have a nuclear weapon? Let's just get to the meat and bones of it.
Do I believe that? No, I honestly, I don't care, because we don't even know if like Israel has nukes. Like, other countries have nukes. India has nukes. All kinds of countries have nukes. Russia has nukes. China has nukes.
So you
Korea
think
has
you think
nukes.
those countries? You think
I think
China
that no
having
country
nukes?
should have nukes, to be completely honest.
I
But
agree. I agree. But what I'm trying to get you
realistically,
to, but what I'm trying to
we
get you to
can do
recognize,
the
though.
mutual assured destruction like thing. So like, if you nuke us, you're gone. Whatever. So it sounds to me like we're using nukes as a reason to do something else. What that is it maybe doing the wishes of Israel? Perhaps. Is it
So just
to get their oil?
okay.
Maybe even that.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the fact that you act as if like, well, all these countries have nukes, what does it matter if this country gets them too? You're not recognizing the fundamental difference in the type of regime that we're dealing with, right? We don't have a problem with Muslim nations having nukes. Pakistan has nukes. India has a large Muslim population. They have nukes. The difference is that this is a religious government with explicit religious beliefs
I'm aware of
that
all of
have,
these things. I don't
yeah, that
understand why you're repeating this. I'm the one that told you exactly how we got here.
what I'm trying to say is that Iran having nukes is different than other nations having nukes. It's not the same.
Because of us.
Okay, so when the four-star general, answer my prior question, when the four-star general comes in, hey, Iran cannot have nukes given their current situation, their current state of the regime that's in charge, what do you do?
If a 4-star general suggests that, then I would run it through Congress. Is that what Trump did?
It's not an officially declared war. You don't have to yet.
Regardless, it's an act of war.
Does Congress? Well,
Is
no,
it?
it's
Is
not.
it not an act of war?
It's not an act of war. If it was an act of war, Congress would declare war. That's how it works.
Doesn't matter, because he just went ahead and did it.
Well, you're allowed to do. We technically haven't been at war since Korea, I think. Actually, I don't know if that's true, but we haven't been at war in like 50 years officially in terms of Congress actually declaring it a war.
We still run things through Congress, like any kind of like military action, right?
So really, what this boils down to is you would be fine. You would not do anything militarily.
I'm not okay with a unilateral like military action, both in Venezuela and in Iran. At least run it through Congress. Get the approval of the representatives of the people, right? Otherwise, are we living in a fascist, authoritarian country right now? Why is nothing being run like by us?
No, I mean I agree with that criticism. Like I agree, like in an ideal world, it should be ran by Congress. But the point I'm trying to make is I support the action of what we're doing in Iran. I do not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't think it's analogous to other states having nuclear weapons. And I also think they've shown a clear indicator that they would potentially use those weapons. I think that makes them different than other states. Like even when India and Pakistan have skirmishes on their border, there's no indication that either state is like, we're going to go nuclear. They don't do that. They restrain themselves and they stop. Iran is like, we want to wipe Israel off the map. We want to expand, this Islamic.
Okay, so how is
regime
that
as far as we
America's
can.
problem?
Because if Iran uses a nuclear weapon against a country or whatever, it's everyone's problem. It's a massive problem.
Why isn't Israel dealing with this like alone? I don't understand. Like they obviously have enough to take over like the Gaza Strip. So why isn't Israel just handling their own problems here? Why are we?
It's not just Israel's
like,
problem though.
Why is MAGA saying "Make America Great Again," America first, all these things? We don't want to be the world police, but then here we are doing these actions to Iran, and now you're supporting that. I bet like 6 months ago, you were probably saying we shouldn't be the world police. We shouldn't be worrying about anything other than America. Like if Biden were to do this, you would probably be throwing a fucking fit.
I mean, come on. No, I wouldn't. I would support it. I supported some things Biden did,
Okay.
right? So he
What I'm saying here is that you would seriously support Biden like doing a unilateral like military action like this, like of this scale, without any kind of oversight, any kind of like any of that, because actually you did say that you do criticize this, but overall you do agree with what's going on. So essentially, you're okay with Trump unilaterally doing this without congressional approval. I'm just trying to like clarify.
I think
here.
it's a bit, yeah. Just to that's a fair question. I would say I would prefer it go through Congress when we make an official declaration of war. However, I think that right now it's too early to say whether it is like we ultimately don't know what the full desire of these strikes is. Like people say it's about regime change. We don't actually know that. Like people say that, but it's never like the Pentagon has not officially said this is a regime change war. Like people like to say that's what it is, and it might be, but it hasn't been officially stated. So I only like to operate based on what's been officially announced. So it depends on how far it goes. If it's just if we left after the strikes we did right now, then I would say, yeah, it was allowed. I think it's fine.
Okay.
If it escalates,
do you know that 6 of our U.S. soldiers have now been like counted as unalived in Iran because of this, right?
yeah, it's a tragedy.
And do you think that Trump bears any of that responsibility?
Of course, the commander in chief always has responsibility.
Okay.
Whenever troops are killed.
So, do you think that this is going to end up with more than just 6 people?
If it goes into a prolonged conflict, 100%. 100%.
Did you hear Trump's or like read Trump's posting about Iran is talking about striking back, and if they do, we will strike back even harder, like nobody has ever seen.
Yeah, no. If it escalates, we're gonna lose way more than 6 people. I would be.
Is it possible that those 6 people could still be living right now?
It's possible.
Okay. Did they have any say? Did their families have any say on whether or not they're going to be living? You know, like
they're not. They
did
no.
their
Well, they. I mean, that's unfair, right? They agreed to join the military, right? I mean, we have a voluntary armed force. They understood that they could be deployed. Like that's the risk you take when you join the military. Like ask anyone in the military, even people who sign up for non-combat roles, they know there's a risk that they could be deployed.
Understood, but the point still stands, right? Like people were freaking out about like Benghazi, for instance. They still call Hillary Killery. You know, it seems to me that Trump is doing essentially the same thing, which is putting American troops at risk without any kind of like oversight or any kind of like approval. And I think that alone is just like bad. That's
So what
kind
I'm
of,
trying to say,
and
so
I don't think that we should be also like we should still be in the nuclear deal, which Trump pulled us out of. So like this all seems to be like narrowing down back to one, you know, person responsible.
what it really well, so if we want to take a more macro view of this, which is kind of like I don't think the JCPOA agreement was actually nearly sufficient. I think it was a bad deal just from the get-go. I don't think that it was a
It
sufficient.
was working.
It was worrying, but there were certain issues with the deal. Like if you read it, right? So there's various sunset clauses. So that deal wasn't an indefinite deal. Like there were restrictions that got lifted over time and completely removed after I believe 15
Okay.
years on
So
some of
good
the
governance
So
would say to like before the deal sundowns, you extend it or you come up with new terms.
but the problem that what that ignores though is that if we give Iran more time, right? They build more centrifuges, they invest more in infrastructure, they develop more of the capability to build the nuclear weapons quicker. So if Iran after 15 years says, we don't want a deal actually, and they reach enrichment within a week, then they have a nuclear bomb. That's a massive problem. That is a massive, massive problem that no one wants to reckon with. Iran having a nuclear weapon is a threat to the world. Like it just is, man. If
Okay, so
Iran,
deal with it in the proper channels. Like I don't,
no,
it still does not invalidate my point.
I
No?
agree. I agree. Ideally, it should be dealt with through the proper channels. But what I'm saying is, I don't disagree with the intention of stopping Iran getting a nuclear
Yeah,
weapon,
but
which is really what the debate's
okay,
about.
so now what if Trump unilaterally states that we need to militarily take Greenland and doesn't run that by Congress? What's stopping him?
Can you repeat that?
Say Trump wants to take over Greenland, like with military force, which is something he's mentioned, by the way. What's stopping that? Just because you agree with one action that he did doesn't mean that he's going to do something else that you like still agree with.
But Congress still has the right to rein in Trump, right? So like Congress could impeach Trump.
Do they?
Congress could, but
Do they?
could.
Can they? They have impeached him. It didn't do shit. He got president again. I
So
think
do you-
the
do you-
reason,
but you-
the way to rein the guy in is for people to start like waking the fuck up.
So you don't think there's a current governmental mechanism to get Trump out of office to rein in this war? If Congress voted and said, "Hey, we have to stop these strikes,"
Congress isn't going to vote for that.
No, but would it stop if they did?
You would have to find me a good fucking reason that Congress would have enough votes to remove him from office. Because right now,
but if they did, would he be removed?
the guy has everybody in Congress basically that claims the Republican ticket by the balls, and they're
so
coochies.
you're saying it won't happen, but you're not denying that the mechanism exists.
I'm saying that the mechanism is once again, if there's nothing to enforce it, then it's pointless, right?
It can be enforced. It's just the majority of elected officials disagree with you.
Ignoring, like, that's a problem, right? That I think that's a big problem, that they are accepting like party over people, that they're accepting one man over even their party at this point.
I largely agree with you, but the point I'm making is if you believe that, then there is a mechanism to get different elected officials in place. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a mechanism within our current government to stop these strikes if they wanted to. The fact that they don't means that Congress broadly agrees with the strikes.
Man, this is just like ridiculous. Like, so if Trump then does like try and let's say Trump does try to militarily take over Greenland,
he'd be impeached.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I think they would.
You know how many times I've said he'd be impeached before he actually did some of the shit that he said he was gonna do, and then he did it, and then he didn't get impeached. The guy had people storming the Capitol and like rubbing shit all over it.
You mean Patriots Day? January 6th? No, I'm just kidding. But
are you fucking serious, dude? Obviously,
January,
you're not serious.
No, I know. I'm just fucking with you. I'm not J6. I'm not a J6er. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm not an ideologue for like Trump. Like I think Trump is broadly speaking an idiot, right? But
I believe you. And
I support that. I don't want Iran to get nukes. Like that's
okay.
it. Like I don't think like it would be like this. It would be like let's say there was like Pope Urban III, right? And he's
Sure.
like he's like, you know what? Like I'm kind of thinking that everyone should be a Catholic. Right? And he's like, and not only that, I believe that if I kill the people who don't want to be a Catholic, they're going to go to heaven and I'm going to go to heaven or whatever, right? So I'm going to start building nukes. And then it's like, well, I'd be like, what are we doing about this? And they'd be like, well, it's just like China getting nukes. I'm like, I don't think it is because I don't think China cares whether we're Chinese or not, right? So I think that's really why I worry about it is I just see like it's based on a religion.
I understand
it's a government
that.
based on a religion.
I understand that. Okay. I understand. And if that is what your like initial argument and like the whole crux of your argument stands, sure. Like you're concerned about Iran. You think that something should be done. Okay. That's fine. The thing is though, is that we had things in place, right? We had, basically if we never pulled out of that deal, these 6 troops that are now not living would still be alive. Like that's my point.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would agree with that. I would not disagree with that. I'm just saying,
Right.
like, what
Well, at least,
where it comes.
and thank you for like saying that, like, because like I think that like maybe that's where the misunderstanding is. Maybe I took you for somebody that is more of a, like J6er that is, more ideologically
No.
tied to the cult of personality. Because that is something that like I'm reading it in the chat right now. Like, like it's wild that people will just
No.
support and they'll defend, just without any kind of like facts or anything other than, like my man wants this, so I'm going to support my man, Thank you.
Yeah, no. I mean, the Trump personality cult, I think, is primarily based on. I mean, if my theory on it is, it's based on. I think the 2008 financial crisis played a huge role. I think there's a lot of different factors that cause this type of phenomenon.
Yeah.
I ultimately think it's gonna dissipate. Like, I don't
Oh
think it's
yeah.
gonna last. I think like
Unless
Marco
somebody,
Rubio or
yeah, somebody
well,
charismatic would have to take over, like just as charismatic, and I
but
don't see
but
it.
the thing is, though, what I would say is it might actually be more dangerous to have someone else take over the movement, like, even if they don't have the same approach, because you got to realize, like, Trump's largely an idiot, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. I
whereas, like,
agree.
if you get someone like a Marco Rubio, like Marco Rubio is obviously, I think, way more intelligent, or if you get someone like a Vance or a JD
Yeah.
Vance, right?
Even
Those
even
guys,
JD, I don't think he really has like any kind of, like,
loyalty.
well,
No, he called
yeah.
Trump a Nazi
I
prior
know.
to him being the VP, right? So, like,
Yeah.
but the point is, like, those guys are actually far more like intelligent and capable of doing actual real damage. Like, if they were in charge, the coup would have been done.
Yeah,
Under
Stephen Miller
J6.
scares the shit out of me. Like I will admit that. Like the dude, like even Trump has said, like, yeah, if Stephen Miller were in charge, everybody would look like Stephen Miller.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
mean
dude.
Joseph Goebbels? Joseph
Yeah, like
Goebbels.
seriously, like whatever. I mean, like obviously the guy like is not an idiot, right? But like if somebody like that were as charismatic and had the same type of power as Trump, oof, like that would be real scary.
I think he's too ugly to
Thank
win, bro.
you
I
for
don't
that.
think it can. He's
Yeah,
too ugly
I
to win. I
agree. I
don't
mean, the
think it
guy
can
does look
happen.
like Nosferatu. Uh, well, all right, man. I'm not gonna knock you on that. Like, I do. I think that like I was pushing back on you there. I wanted to try and like corner you into admitting something like really weird, but you stood on your kind of like foundations of yeah, like Iran is dangerous, and something should be done. Now, if we keep it that simple, I would agree with you. Uh, when I take into like the context of everything, though, I can't help but like kind of see where Iran's coming from. Because like we just fucked their shit up for decades and decades. Like we're still fucking their shit up, obviously. And like I personally think that you know the way out of this is to just stop fucking around with these people. Like we should apologize for what happened years ago. We should, like admit our faults and take responsibility as a nation, like on the global like stage. But I think that we are too, which is funny, proud uh to do that.
Well, also,
Um
just in full transparency too, like,
yeah.
where my position really comes from, like, I don't support our entanglements with Israel. Like, actually, like, my reason for disagreeing with Israel. So here's where this what
Hold on,
can't
hold
be
on. Sorry. Thank you, Jamie, Nolan official. They just sent a $5 super chat saying, "Keep fighting the good fight." Thank you. Appreciate that.
what
Okay.
what also can't be understated here, though. So I'm a Catholic, right?
Mhm.
What can't be understated is how much of what we're doing right now, or how much of our support of Israel, is driven by the Protestants. Like, not to
Agreed.
make, yeah, not to make this too, like,
Honestly, it's
explicit, but
refreshing. It's refreshing to talk to Catholics. It really is. Like pre-reformist. Yeah.
yeah, like, the truth is, like, because when I talk to them, they're like, look, whoever blesses Israel will be blessed. Like Ted Cruz says, like, or Mike Huckabee, where he's like, they could take it all, right? Remember that? He
Yeah,
said they could take it. So, like, when you talk, you got to realize, like, in the same way that Islam, that Iran is like a fundamentalist religious ideologue, these guys are fundamental religious ideologues.
I
Like,
would agree.
they believe that Israel has a divine right given by God to have this land, and they are using our military to advance that position. Like, that's the reality of it, and it's kind of unfortunate. Whereas as a Catholic, I'm kind of like, but we're all equal under God, right? There's no, like, the whole idea they have a divine right to some land. It's kind of like, but I thought there was no Greek or Jew. But then they're like, well, no, what about this verse?
Right.
That's what's really like.
That's wild. Like, this
It
is
is.
wild to like be agreeing with you like on these grounds. Like, but I mean, this is probably why I get along with Catholics a lot better than I do maybe like the Protestants or the evangelicals or the Calvinists. Is because, you know, Catholics seem a little bit more open to, you know, like more than just like sola scriptura. And I would say that yeah, it is scary. And like to they think that because of like revelation, right? You know, and now with like the blood moon stuff, like I'm hearing the wildest stuff. It's
No,
so
they
crazy.
do. They do. No. Like, it's even great. What they believe, or at least what one sect believes, is that what's really funny though is the Protestants don't realize that Israel is using them. Like, that's the funny thing here. Like, the
Agreed.
Protestants are being used by Israel to advance their aims. But what's really funny is
Yeah, like
in the
the Israeli government, like all these Jewish people want the Catholic like end game.
no, well, no, the Israelis hate the Catholics,
Or
like,
not
broadly
Catholic, sorry,
speaking.
Christian end game, like the Protestant
Yeah,
end game. You know what I mean?
yeah, because, well, they're using the Protestant, because what the Protestants wants is, they're like, Israel needs to reclaim all the land. We need to rebuild Israel, get all the Jews back to Israel. Now, what the Protestants don't tell the Jews is, now once this happens, there's going to be judgment, and 80% of you are
Right.
going to die, and like there's all that. But the Israelis, because they don't believe in that, they're like, all right, well, we'll take the help, and then it's probably not going to happen, so whatever.
Yep.
But what their real goal too, what really worries me too, is they want to get rid of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and they want to build a third temple, and then they have to sacrifice a red cow.
Oh,
I'm
God.
serious. This is part of, like,
I've heard about the
actually,
red cow.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have to sacrifice a red cow in there. And the thing is, there's this drive to do this. And, like, as a Catholic, I'm not saying Israel shouldn't exist. Like, it's there, it's not going to go away.
Right.
But what I reject is this leverage that what's really funny is, like, because the Protestants under JFK, they accuse JFK of being like a papist. They're like, how do we know you're not in league with the Pope or whatever? But then
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you guys are all in league with Israel, like, explicitly. You're like, yeah, we're gonna send our military to, like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how is that okay? Like, when was the last time we went to war for, like, the Pope? Like, never. Like, whereas with Israel, they're like, yeah, like, we'll Iraq, Afghanistan, all those wars
Iran.
were caught. Iran, all of those wars were encouraged by Israel. I think the difference with Iran, I just don't want Iran to have nukes. That's really what it comes down to. I just think it's bad. Now, if
when
Iran
you make when we cleared it up, like, that makes sense. I can't say I can knock you on that. Like, I really can't. Like, once again, like you mentioned before, you know, like, that doesn't change the reality that we live in right now, like the risk that is there. I just think that there's better ways to handle it. But yeah, I'm not even saying that you were arguing against that even. So
yeah, like, if Iran, like, look, here's my opinion. If Iran becomes like a stable democratic, like, they're still going to be Islamic, but, like, not fundamentalist. If that happened, then it'd be like Pakistan. Okay, they can have nukes. But when it's more like,
yeah,
they're more extreme, it's kind of like if a Pope Urban III came along. It's like, you know what? Like,
yeah,
I'm
they
kind
would
of
have to
thinking we
be
should.
substantial change, like
Yeah.
substantial change. All right, well, John, I do have a new guest, so I'm gonna let them up. I actually appreciate this call. I at first I thought we were just gonna knock heads, but I think we did find a little bit of common ground there. So
I think so too.
appreciate it.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too. Bye. All right. So honestly, I can't knock that. I think there was a little bit of a misunderstanding, but it kind of came out like that. Yeah, he conceded. Oh, my guest from earlier from TikTok left. Where'd you go? I didn't even see. Although I do like, I think that we should acknowledge, you know, like how we got here with Iran. History is an important thing because without history, we are doomed to repeat it. So when it comes to things like, you know, not recognizing that we are the reason why Iran is radicalized against us, only like furthers this issue. Like the sooner we like accept and acknowledge the problem, the sooner we can, you know, like resolve the problem. And that like goes for a lot of things, right? Like if you're like if you did a shitty thing to another person, even If you're never going to recognize that shitty thing, that person probably is not going to be able to move on. So like addressing the problem and recognizing it and acknowledging it is the way to go. By like avoiding that and then just like kind of creating this narrative that, you know, these people are just suddenly radicalized against us and most people just don't know why, then we're running into like lies territory. And that's kind of, you know, not going to work out for us in the end. That's happened before. And this is an administration that claims they are the most transparent of any administration before them. I'm not saying that any administration before them was even very much transparent, but they definitely aren't. Not right now. Do I work? Oh, no, I think somebody's asking in the chat if they work. Like, yeah, I work. I have a job. But yeah, so if you're watching on TikTok, make sure to tap that screen. Let's try and get me up over 5,000, please. We're almost there, 4.9. If you want to join up, there's a little pink and blue guy on the bottom to join up. Jandre, you didn't want to come up? I can invite you. I'm gonna send you an invite anyways. Apparently you requested, so maybe you just got scared. I don't know. We don't have to keep talking about Iran either. You know, it can be any one of these three topics. If you disagree with those three topics, yeah, if you are watching on YouTube, you can join up by typing into any browser, the tinyurl.com/deconcall. That's DECONCALL. Once again, you are watching on YouTube, the Deconstruction Junction Network, the TV station. I haven't really quite like named it. I think I called it DJ TV a long time ago. And what Deconstruction Junction is a collection of people that want to critically think about things like this when it comes to religion, when it comes to politics, when it comes to indoctrination in general, education. Oh, we got somebody here. Yo mama. Yo mama, are you there? Yo mama, are you there? Hello?
Yo.
Hold on.
Hello.
One moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Can I get your age real quick? Are you there?
27.
27? All right. And what brings you up? Thank you, Dougal. You're so kind.
I mean, like, MAGA has been like a huge movement. I disagree with it, but like, I just don't see it like failing. Could you help me like understand like how it's failing? I hope it's failing, but it's a cult of
Sure.
personality.
Right. Okay. You remember like 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, right? Trump's first, do you remember seeing like all of the signs and all of the shirts, all the like fuck your feelings and things like that? Even beyond that, like there was a bunch of let's go Brandon and fuck Joe Biden and all of these like crazy like sayings. Do you see them as much anymore?
Nah, dude, I'm from like Chicago, so I didn't see them. So it's
Oh.
like predominantly like anti-Trump.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, if you were to travel outside of Chicago, there's a lot of people that had these like signs. They like their trucks were like decked out in Trump regalia. Overall, like Trump's approval rating has gone down. It just isn't looking good. They're not succeeding at whatever the hell they're trying. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is short-lived at best. If Trump, you know, anything should happen to the man, either health-wise or otherwise, I don't think that MAGA is gonna really stick around unless they like deify the guy. But I think people are just too short-memoried to do that.
But like, aren't there like aspects of MAGA that are already deifying Trump?
Yeah, and I would say that they learn real quick that that's just not working out. Like, it's just not the way that the world works. For instance, like when they say like he was dodging bullets or whatever, like no, that's not like some sort of divine movement or anything. The guy is incontinent. The guy is aging. He's not living forever. They can create a cult just as much as Jim Jones had a cult. You know, like cults fall. So what I'm saying is that MAGA is on that fall.
I hope so, man. But like cults like follow their leaders to their graves, so there'll always be like an aspect to MAGA, and I'm just like I don't know how to figure out like how big that is.
Oh, well, I mean, essentially it's to me, I would say like it's more the Christian nationalism, right? Like that brings in the kind of backbone for what MAGA is, right? So that would be my like second point, you know, like that would be probably a bigger focus, especially with people that just don't understand like Christianity. Like they just kind of take what they've been told and they're running with it.
Oh
But-
yeah, I agree. Like Trump
All right,
isn't
well-
a good Christian.
Yeah, agreed. So I do want to try and get somebody of opposition up. So I do appreciate you calling in, Yo Mama. If we do have another live where we do have something that you do disagree with, I'm more than happy to have you up on the show. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, man. Have a good one.
You too. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna bring up No Degree. No Degree, are you there? Hello? Or did you leave already?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. All right.
Yeah.
Stage is yours.
Let's see. Well, yeah, I do think that y'all seem, I don't know why y'all seem to always want to talk about MAGA. Don't you think that you legitimize? I mean, I voted for Donald Trump 3 different times, but
that's one
don't
more
you
than I
think
would
by
allow.
the constant talking about him, it just kind of builds him up even more?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, like in a way, yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that. I also think that a lot of people have not like listened to a lot of like what's going on, or nor do they like care. There's like a whole, you know, apathetic part
Denny,
of it all.
sorry to interrupt you,
What's
but
up?
No Degree has a really bad echo for the chat. Like it's really bad.
Okay, let me change. Thank you for that. That is because. All right, No Degree, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. I got it.
Here.
I figured it out. Thank you, Dugald. Appreciate that. It's trying to bridge these two damn apps. I need to just quit trying with it.
Have you got YouTube on too?
Yeah, I'm trying to do what Justin does, but I don't want to bother Justin because he's just got a lot going on. He knows how to figure it out, but I just can't seem to figure it out myself.
So you mean my brilliance is getting streamed across 2 different apps simultaneously?
Yeah, brilliance
Wow.
is an interesting word for that, but sure. So like, would you not consider yourself a MAGA? Like, why did you vote for Trump 3 times?
Well, I voted for Trump because, I mean, I didn't vote for him because I thought he was of outstanding moral character or anything like that. I voted for him because I thought he would better get what needed to be done, and I felt like that his views were more in line with my Christian principles than the Democrats.
Why?
So
though?
it wasn't that I thought he was a nice guy or anything like that.
So what did he show that like aligned with your Christian principles?
Well, I think that
The divorces, the like adultery, the
no, I'm talking about his policies.
the like hitting on his own daughter.
No, he
policies.
starved. Yeah, he cut funding a lot in his first term to the nonprofit organization that unalives children and celebrates it. So that was a good thing.
What organization is unaliving children?
Planned Parenthood.
They're not
where in the
unaliving
Bible does
children.
it say? Where does the Bible even mention that anywhere as being bad?
Also, they're not
Well, it doesn't
unaliving children.
explicitly say abortion's bad, but it does
Then why would that be an
look
issue?
down upon sacrificing your children for your own convenience and
the
stuff.
Supreme Court is the one who overturned that. So what did Trump have to do with that? It was already overturned before he took office.
Also, didn't Jephthah sacrifice
Well, no, he
his
was
daughter?
the one. He was the one responsible for it because he appointed 3 Supreme Court nominees.
Because he bribed 2 judges.
Bribed 2 judges.
Yeah, because 2 judges are on the take all the time. That makes it.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the first time I voted for him, he appointed 3 Supreme Court nominees that ultimately led to the unraveling of Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, and 2 of those people.
And I think that's good.
Well, 2 people that are on the Republican side are on the take. So
on the tank. I don't know what you mean by that.
Clarence Thomas getting all these vacations to make rulings in the Republicans' favor, especially the rich Republicans.
Yeah, it's
same thing with what's her face.
It's interesting.
I don't know anything about that, but I think that that still would be better. What I would rather him rule in favor of what I would consider to be more ethical than. So I don't know as far as
again, how are you basing that as being more ethical if it's not listed in your Christian doctrine?
Yeah, hold on.
I think that the Bible does teach that.
I just want to get Frodo validated here. Frodo Bagans, can I just get your age real quick?
Yeah, I'm 45. And my pronouns are he, him. So I've monitored No Degree for a while now. He was on John Cohen's live earlier today, and John posed a question to him about whether he thinks it's morally justifiable to stone women to death, and he
that's something that he can handle on his live. I don't understand why that just came up. I thought he was coming to help you out. I thought
he was
trying to balance things out.
He was coming to I was wondering why atheists keep bringing up the test, the virginity test with the cloth, what they were trying to, and ask this John Cohen.
See, look at this is exactly what I didn't want. He just derailed our conversation.
Yeah, so
we were talking about how Trump better aligns with Christianity. That's more in line with what I'm talking about here.
Okay.
The moral failings of the Bible, especially when it comes to the purity of their virginity, and it's just all just fucking gross. If you ask me, the fact that's even part of the story is just weird. And it's scientifically just bad. It's just bad science.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's bad science, but I'd say it's a bad.
Hymens break all the time, sir. Hymens break all the time. You don't have to have sex to break a hymen.
Well, I don't know what you mean by breaking all the time.
They do.
But I don't know if you don't want to talk. If you don't want to talk about that, we don't have to.
More than 40% of the women in the world.
That's kind of the end of the discussion. Is it's bad science.
They don't have a hymen when they
have sex the first time, correct? Because it breaks before they have sex.
Yeah, if they fall hard, if they ride a bike, if they stretch their legs. There's even discussions about this in the Talmud.
Yes.
Yeah, to step over something tall. You have to stretch your leg out. I'm not trying to
break.
Yes.
Yeah, this is in the Talmud. There's rabbis that are discussing this in the Talmud, when they're discussing that exact verse. So regardless, it's put to bed.
Well, I think there's some science that would challenge that as well.
No, there's not.
I got some sources. If you're
literally, there's not.
What's going to make a woman bleed if the hymen's broken already?
What's what?
What would make a woman bleed if the hymen's broken already? Is the hymen the determinating factor of whether or not a woman is a virgin?
No, I'm saying that the claim that I think that they just break all the time, that just seems strange.
More than 40% of the women in the world do not have a hymen when they have sex the first time because it breaks.
Yeah, the implication of the verse is that
what do you like about this text?
Whether or not the hymen is intact is whether or not they are a virgin. So if there's any time that a hymen is no longer intact, and it was not caused from intercourse, then they could still be a virgin, right? But the hymen's not
Sure.
intact, so they wouldn't
Yeah.
bleed.
Well, I'm not really
So
disputing
then they
that.
would
What
be
I'm
they would be stoned to death. 4 out of the 10 would be stoned to death unjustly. Even like
well, I
according
mean,
to that
I don't.
rule.
But see, y'all were doing
I mean,
that
it's all
based on the
unjust.
idea that 43% do not bleed on the wedding night or whatever. But according to Flow Health, 99.97% of women do have hymens. And, you know, it's
I
just
didn't
very
realize
rare
that.
that a woman
This
doesn't
is
have
disgusting.
one. So,
Nobody
honestly,
said they
yeah.
didn't have hymens. We
Okay.
said they broke before they had their first
Okay.
sexual
The
encounter.
fact that you're trying to even defend
But
this is like
the fact
exactly
that
why I'm
to
against
say
like
that
stuff
they
like
just
Christian
randomly
nationalism.
break and all of this, that
Yeah,
just
I don't
seems strange.
care. Like
They
the fact that
do,
you're trying,
no degree.
the fact that you're trying to like defend
Well, we
this.
can move on to something
Yeah,
else.
this is a really it's just weird. Like, why are you defending that?
Basically what I did was I presented a stat that John Cohen didn't know this morning,
I don't
and
give
it
a
kind of
shit.
threw him off.
I don't care about John Cohen.
And that's kind of how this.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm
Okay.
just
moving
kind
on.
of.
Okay, so why does Trump
Yeah.
align more with your Christian values? A man that is what was it, like 4 times remarried? He's cheated on all of his wives, including the current one. His
Well, I didn't
policies.
vote for
So
Trump.
you're saying that you did it because of Planned Parenthood. Basically, you were a
I
single
didn't
issue
vote for him
voter.
because of his lifestyles. I voted for him because of his policies and then the previous time he was president. And he's strong on immigration, like illegal immigration, and I think that that's a good, virtuous thing. He's strong against unaliving your children in the womb, things like that, and those align more. Plus,
Children?
he's very
I don't understand why you
favorable
keep using
of
that word children.
Christianity.
Children are
alive.
Yeah, they're like
Well, I'm just
not,
going
they're
by
post
what the
birth, right? Like the children
I'm
have
just
been
going about what
born.
the Bible views them as.
The Bible doesn't
says
call
that life begins at
unborn
first
children
breath.
babies.
Yeah, it does. Exodus 21.
There's abortions in the Bible. I mean, Jesus himself was a post-birth abortion. So what are you talking about?
What?
Is Jesus not the Son of God?
Yes.
Did God have Jesus put to death?
Yes.
Would that not be considered a post-birth abortion to
No.
you? Why wouldn't it?
It's like y'all just redefine words. Basically,
I mean,
you're
Christians
saying
do it all the time.
Wouldn't that mean that anybody who got unalived would essentially be a post-birth abortion at that point?
That's
even if you
it
unalive
was
from cancer,
it was a joke.
there'd be a
Okay,
post-birth abortion.
No degree.
Okay,
it was a
It
joke.
was
Okay.
a joke on Christians.
Okay,
People like to
just-
tell us
Come on.
words don't mean words. Calm
Yeah,
down.
you don't need to,
I
you don't need to
didn't
focus
actually. I
on
didn't
that.
think it's a joke because I've heard atheists redefine things very absurdly. So I actually.
No, that's a poke
It's
at
a good joke,
Christians who
though.
do
I'll tell you
that.
that.
Yeah,
It's a poke at
It was
y'all
a
who
good
do
joke.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Trump has like said that
Well played.
post-birth abortions were a thing, which is wild because that's not. So that's kind of where the joke comes from, right?
Okay.
Like oh, Jesus was just
Yeah.
a post-birth abortion.
Unfortunately, I didn't fall for it, but you have to understand, I've heard a lot of absurd things from Deconstruction atheists on TikTok, so I took you seriously
Yeah.
that you really meant that.
Well, I mean, okay. So obviously, God is okay with people unaliving their children, though. Like that's like literally in his commandments. Like if they do not follow their mother and father, they are to be stoned to death.
Sure, if there's like a disobedient person disobedient to their parents and stuff like that, there would be some moral justification.
Then why
a drunkard, something like that?
Why would you say that this is a Christian value then, when obviously God is fine with parents unaliving children, actual children, not like fetuses that still need their like mother to like live.
There would be there'd be some justification for it. And I don't believe it means child as in like less than 10 or something like that. I think there's
wait, no degree. Why are you trying to redefine what child is?
Yeah,
I'm not. I just based on
what is a child? No degree.
Examples.
What is a child? No degree.
I think when it's talking about, I don't think it's talking about a child.
What is a child? No degree. What is a child?
A child?
Yes.
It depends on, I guess, how you're using it. Could be used as an
What is it? Why is this so hard?
a
No degree.
19 or 20-year-old could be a child. So it
A
depends on
young
how
No
human
you.
being
degree.
below the age
Why
of
is this
puberty.
hard?
Well,
Why is
I
this
guess
hard?
how because atheists, again, just like
No,
I said,
stop
like to
blaming other atheists. I'm not talking to other
redefine
atheists. I'm
words. So
talking to you.
when I talk about a
I'm
child,
not talking to other atheists.
okay,
I'm
a
talking
child
to
could
you.
range from someone from a baby in the womb to someone who's in
No,
their
I
late
disagree.
teens or
where in
early
the Bible
20s.
does it define a child in the womb as being or baby in the womb as being a child?
Exodus 21 talks about two people fighting and they strike together and strikes a pregnant woman. It says their child comes out. That's how some of the
That's
translations
because it's out, right? It's not because.
Well,
Oh my god!
it's
And no
defining
degree.
it as a
So
child that comes
AB.
out and she's
So
pregnant.
if we're going by Bible, then that means you're fine with an AB as long as it's just a man impregnating his mistress. You're fine with it.
No, I wouldn't be.
Well, the
You talking
Bible
about
is that
Numbers
God
5?
gives you even a potion to take to do it. Like God tells you
Yeah,
how
I
to
don't
do
think
it
that's a.
when. But what He
I
does
think
though,
that's a
that's
misunderstanding.
no, that's literally what the bitter waters are.
Even
Like
Dr. Josh Bowen doesn't agree with
even
that.
in the Hebrew,
I've
Josh
had
Bowen does not say
conversations.
that's not what that is.
Yes, he has.
No, he's not.
I've been on YouTube having that
No
conversation with him.
degree. No degree.
Josh Bowen
It is recorded on YouTube.
No degree.
I brought it up, Numbers 5, and he said it on Seth Andrews, I believe it is, podcast, where he said that atheists go too far when they claim that's a prescription for an
Hey,
abortion.
Black Race.
What else would the bitter waters that gets rid of a pregnancy be?
It doesn't say it gets rid of a pregnancy. That's the
So why would
misconception.
she take it and the baby come out and not live
It
anymore?
makes her
It
barren.
doesn't say the baby comes out.
It not only gets rid of the child.
Yeah, I'm saying that y'all
it
haven't
makes
really
it so she
studied
can't
what they're
have
saying.
children after that.
It literally, I read it. No,
It never says she. It never says
literally
she's
says
pregnant.
the baby goes away.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say that.
So you're saying that she just drinks it for
I'm saying
funsies?
I'm saying that it never says she's pregnant. It never refers to a baby going away.
So you're
anything
saying
like
that when she is with child, that doesn't mean she's pregnant,
I'm
or
saying it
that when
doesn't
she's
talk about her
taking it,
being with
or that
child.
when she takes those bitter
Let's pull
waters,
it up.
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Now, the hypothetical would be if she is pregnant. One could make the
It
case that it
says
would
when
abort the
she's with
child.
child, does it not?
No, it doesn't. No.
What does it say
It
specifically?
says here,
No degree?
Numbers
It
5:11,
talks
and the
about
Lord spake
the
unto
thigh rotting away.
No
and
degree. He's reading
falling
it.
out.
No degree. He's reading
Okay,
it.
it's called the test for adultery. All right. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel and say unto them, If any man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him, a man lies with her and has an emissions of semen, and it has been hidden from the eyes of her husband, and she is undetected, though she has defiled herself, and there is no witness against her, since she is not taken in the act. And if the spirit of jealousy comes over him, and he is jealous of his wife who has defiled herself, or if the spirit of jealousy comes over him, and he is jealous of his wife, though she has not defiled herself, then the man shall bring his wife to the priest. So basically, whether or not she did it, he can, if he's jealous, he can bring her to a priest and bring the offering required of her, 1/10 of an ephah of a barley flour. He shall pour no oil on it and then put no frankincense on it. It is a grain offering for jealousy. The priest shall bring her near and set her before Jehovah, and the priest shall take the holy water so they make this grain and concoction in an earthenware vessel, and take some of the dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle and then put it in the water. And the priest shall set the woman before Jehovah and unbind her hair of the woman's head and place it in her hands, the grain offering of remembrance, which is the grain offering of jealousy. And the priest shall have in his hand the water of bitterness that carries a curse. And the priest shall make her swear and say unto the woman, If no man is laid down with you, and while you are under your husband's authority, you have not turned aside to any uncleanliness, be free from this water of bitterness that brings the curse. If you have gone astray through you, though you are under your husband's authority, and if you have defiled yourself, and some man other than your husband has put in you his seminal emission, this is the UASV, by the way, then the priest shall make the woman swear with the oath of the curse, and the priest shall say to the woman, Jehovah make you a curse and an oath among your people, fall away, and your abdomen swell, and this water that brings the curse shall pass into your inward parts and make your abdomen swell and your thigh fall away. So it's regarding her womb, right? And the woman shall say, Amen, amen, and the priest shall write these curses and he shall take in a book and wash of them into the water of bitterness, and he shall take the woman the drink of the water of bitterness that brings a curse, and the water brings the curse shall enter her and cause the bitterness. And the priest shall take a handful of the grain offering and burn it on an altar. And afterward make her drink the water. It's just like a lot of like repeating itself.
Okay,
And,
so it doesn't say she
yeah.
was a child, but it says it rots her womb. Or
I'm
those
trying to
areas.
get to that part. It just is like repeating itself over and over again. Essentially, it empties her thigh. Her thigh will fall away. Like her womb, basically, she becomes sterile.
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't ever say she's pregnant or with child or anything like that. So, and when it says the NIV uses the translation her
Let me see here.
a miscarriage, uses the word miscarriage, but if you look at the Hebrew word there, when God says in Malachi, I will give them wombs that miscarry, it's a different Hebrew word than here in here. So that's why it's not an abortion thing, like people misunderstand.
So you're saying that like if a woman didn't
At
have
best, you could
seminal
say,
emissions enter, and then this like proves it, like then I feel like the implication is there that she would be at
well,
least
if at
potentially
best you
pregnant.
could say, at best you could say, and even Dr. Josh Bowen has admitted this, that at best you could say that the woman, if she was pregnant by some other guy,
This is
that it
so
would
gross.
cause an abortion, but
Right.
that's not that's not what it meant to do. But if she was pregnant by her own husband, it would not cause an abortion. So that's why it's saying that atheists go too far when they say this is a potion for an abortion,
It would it
because
not
that's
would
not
it
what
not
it's meant
evacuate
to be in the text.
a potential child if she were pregnant?
Only if she were pregnant. You can make
Okay,
the
so
case
that's an
only if she
abortion,
were pregnant.
right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying here is
It
that's
would
not
terminate the
what
pregnancy on the spot.
this. Well, see, I mean, that's the best that would be the best argument you could make. You couldn't say, "Oh, this is a
Yeah,
potion for an
so
abortion,"
why are
because
Christians
if
against
she didn't,
abortions for like grape?
okay, well, if it's the case that if you want to just take this before a priest and do this bitter water, and if that causes it, then sure, I would be okay with it
Obviously,
if
that's not
that's
going to
what I
do
want to do.
shit.
But
Like
that's the only
if they're
way.
going to put some
That's the only
fucking
way I'd be
dirt.
for it. If you want to make that case.
So are you telling me that instead of like going and getting an ultrasound or testing for like a pregnancy, like with a pregnancy test, that we should just bring these women to a
I'm
priest?
saying
They should grab some
if
dirt
you
from
want
the
to make
ground and put it in water and make her drink it?
I'm saying if you want to make the case that this is meant to be an abortion, then fine. Let's see how far y'all are willing to go. Let's only do it in the case that she has slept with someone else and there's this test.
Okay.
And if it does it, then fine, right?
We've gotten so far away from the initial topic of how, like, I understand. Okay, you're happy abortion and Trump. We get it. Okay.
Right.
Move on from that though, because that was decided before he was even president. So we're talking about after the fact.
Yeah.
Well,
Not
no,
to
it
mention
was decided. It was the result of him being president the first time. Is why
the first time I'm saying before this third time him running and him winning. We're talking about right now, no degree.
Well, based that, see, I went on previous, his first term, and I saw, not only that, there's a lot of things he did that I felt was good for Christianity in the sense that it
I just don't understand
these social ideologies and stuff like this that I thought was better from the Christian perspective. So that's why I voted for him the second time.
This is why
and look,
we're failing.
at the end of his term, I might be like, well, I shouldn't have voted for him the second time. But what I'm saying is, it was worth it the first time, so I voted for him again this time.
So you're a Christian nationalist, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Is
that your goal?
If you mean that I
is your
love my
goal?
nation and I'm a Christian,
No.
that's
Do you
how you
want
define
everybody?
it, sure.
Do you want Christianity to be like everybody's religion?
Well, I mean, I'm not forcing it upon everybody, but yes, I would like that.
If you're voting on it, then yes, you are. If
Like-
you're
Well, I mean,
voting for it,
a Muslim
no
would
degree.
vote
Think about this. Think
against
about
it.
this. Hold on.
So
Think about this. If you're voting for a man in policies and an administration and other politicians who will enact your Christian worldview based on the way you're voting, then you are
And that
in
makes me a
fact
Christian.
forcing it on people.
okay, so would you say the same thing? Like if a Muslim were to vote for Ilhan Omar because she's Muslim and think that she's going to force that?
If they're doing it for
a Muslim
religious
nationalist.
reasons, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess if that's the case, then guilty as charged.
And that's
Yeah,
exactly why
wild.
we're in the fucked up state we're in.
Yeah, like why would you?
Well,
vote?
I mean, I think that Christianity is better for
It's
our
not.
nation
It's
than
disgusting
atheism
worldview.
or Islam or anything like that.
It's not. It's
That's
just
like
as
going
disgusting
against-
as Islam is. You
yeah,
just don't see
that
it.
would go against the Establishment Clause of the First
Would you
Amendment.
say it was less disgusting or more disgusting?
No, I would say it's just as disgusting.
Yeah, Christian nationalism
Equally,
to
let
me
me
is
ask you
just as bad as Sharia law, if not like pretty much
Let me
the
ask you
exact
something.
same.
I just want to see if y'all really believe that. Would you prefer the U.S., everyone in the U.S., follow the teachings of Jesus Christ or follow the teachings of Muhammad?
I
Neither,
prefer
because
neither,
you're both
yeah.
fucked up.
I'm asking you which
You're
one
asking
would you
me
I'm
to
not
choose.
You have to
choosing
make a
either.
Yeah,
choice.
you're asking me to choose a
not
bowl of
choosing either.
nails and a bowl of screws. Which one do you want to eat?
Okay,
You know, it's like
I mean,
neither.
you understand that your ethical view has already been shaped by Christianity, right?
No, it's not.
No,
It
Yes, it
literally
has.
is not.
This isn't
No.
even controversial,
It's
you're just
literally not.
stating
but
something,
it
and you're
hasn't
not.
been shaped by
You're
Islam.
just making
You're just
assumptions
asserting
there,
this.
dude.
Yeah,
No, I've
Prove
looked
it.
into this.
I
Prove
don't
it.
care what you've looked
Well,
into. You're
prove
making
it.
assumptions on me.
Prove it. Okay, well, I guess maybe I could ask you, why are y'all hyper fixated on Christianity over Islam?
Because it's currently the motherfucking religion
Yeah, because
that
people
is
don't
running
shut up
Christian
about it.
nationalism and is running
That
the
has-
politicians that are harming people
That has
currently in my
influenced
country.
law, right? That has influenced law,
I like
right?
how you ask me a question, but then when I'm answering it, you talk over me so you can't hear what I actually say.
Well, I'm kind of helping you out here. 'cause
No,
I know
you're not
exactly
helping
what
me do anything. It's my answer. You can't help me answer my question.
Okay, fair enough.
I do not like Christian nationalism, which is what you're proposing, because it is harmful and disgusting to people in my country, the US, that I live in. It causes great harm. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't do that.
Okay, so you're saying that it causes great harm based on experience. You've seen how people have passed laws in favor of Christianity that has damaged society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's
now
literally why we have a fascist in office right now.
would you also agree that people likely hold to certain beliefs because they happen to be born in certain societies that hold to these beliefs?
More or less, yes.
Okay, so you were born in the West, which is fundamental. I mean, it's built
and
upon.
I've taken all the
built upon
Christian
these
influence that I
principles.
used
I'm
to
almost
believe
finished.
and gotten rid of it.
You're interrupting me here. You were
What
born
Christian
in the
principle?
West.
Hold on.
That
No,
has
this is where I'm
forced
gonna kick in.
laws, Christian
Hold
laws.
on. Stop you right there. What Christian principle is it built on? Please.
Loving your
Enlighten me.
neighbor as yourself.
That's not a Christian principle.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It did not
Then why
begin
are you all
there.
attacking immigrants right now?
I'm not attacking immigrants. I'm welcoming them
How are you welcoming immigrants when you're literally having them
because
Why-
I want
why
them
do
to come over
Christians-
legally so we can. So
Why do
we
you
can.
why
They
do
are here
Christians
legally,
think
or
that
else
they
they
can
wouldn't be
just
getting arrested in
co-opt?
court.
Why do you think you can co-opt the idea of like reciprocity? Okay, like reciprocity is just something that we like fundamentally as empathetic beings have. Like treat someone like you want to be treated. That it's like fundamentally just something that we have. This is not something that is necessarily
You have
told
it
to
because
you.
you happen to be born in the Christian society that
This
happens to believe
the
this. If you were
idea
born in
predates
Islamic
Christianity.
society, you wouldn't
idea-
think this. You wouldn't think
That law or
slavery was
idea
wrong.
predates Christianity. It predates Judaism. So next,
Oh, well,
Yes.
wouldn't slavery predate Christianity as well?
yeah,
Most
But don't
likely,
you
yeah.
blame Christianity for slavery in America?
No,
in
for-
America, yes, because it was
chattel
done by
slavery
people.
in America. Yeah.
But slavery predates. So why are you blaming Christianity for slavery, but you don't want to give Christianity
the
credit
fact
for
that you
loving your
said it
neighbor as
out
yourself.
loud and don't understand it is insane.
I mean, you understand that seems inconsistent, right?
No,
You want
it's
to
not.
blame
You
blame Christianity for bad
mischaracterized it
things
to make it sound like it's the
and not
same thing, and it's
accept the
not.
good things from
It's
it.
not
You
the
want to know
same
what's
thing,
inconsistent?
Okay, so how do you draw a distinction
is
here? I'm trying to see
apologizing
how
for
you're. I'm trying to
slavery.
test your consistency.
Yeah,
Yeah,
inconsistent
so you're saying
is.
that.
Oh my god, dude!
He doesn't like actual answers,
Mute.
Benny.
All right. Inconsistent would be saying that slavery is Christian and that loving your neighbor is also Christian, right? Would you agree with that?
Okay, so when y'all blame Christianity on slavery in America, why are you not also blaming Christianity for ending
Because
slavery
Christians
in
are the
America?
ones who directly caused it here.
Yeah, what?
They were also the ones that directly fought against it, right?
No.
So if I pooped on the floor
Yes,
and then cleaned it up, are you
historically,
going to be proud of
yes.
me?
Okay, well, look, I'm trying to figure out where, because
I'm going to
you're
ask you
making
this
the claim,
in a childish manner. If I pooped on your floor, but then I cleaned it up,
and then you cleaned it up, I'd have to give you credit for cleaning up your mess. Yes.
oh my
Right?
god.
So
That
are
is
you
not the
willing
argument,
to are you
Goofy.
willing to say
That's not the
that
argument, Goofy.
Christianity cleaned up slavery? Are you willing to say that?
I'd be still
No.
pissed
I
they
could
even
give you
started it.
I could give you sources. If you want to
They
blame
didn't clean it up
Christianity for
either.
slavery, you have to blame Christianity for cleaning it up. That's
There's
my
no
point.
cleaning up slavery,
No.
right? Like,
Because it wasn't
Yes, it
cleaned
was
up.
a Christian
It's
movement.
not cleaned up.
Christians
And
aren't
What are you talking about?
abolitionists.
It's not cleaned up.
Christians aren't
John
exclusively
Coffey, Thomas
abolitionists.
Holland,
I don't give a shit.
other
Just
What?
because some people
historians
were
have
Christian
admitted this
doesn't make
stuff.
it
Oh my
a
god,
And they're
Christian
second, some of
idea.
them are
third
second.
degree. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
like
Jesus
impossible.
Christ.
Listen to the
Yeah.
fucking answers. You keep asking questions and then running off on tangents because you don't want to hear the actual answers because you know you're fucking wrong. Shut up. Go ahead, Benny.
So, just because some abolitionists may have been Christian, that doesn't make it a Christian idea, right? What is like deniably Christian though is like the papal like statements, decrees that were made in like the late 1400s that allowed for the slave trade to become what it did become in the South of America. So yeah,
Okay,
there's a direct causal relationship between Christianity, specifically Catholicism, and like slavery in America.
Okay, there's a scholar by the name of John Coffey who has called the abolition of slavery in the West, transatlantic slave trade,
Again,
to this day the most successful religious activist movement ever, and it was done by Christians, by
I
his
don't give a
initiative.
shit. Just because one
And there's
person.
others. So what I'm saying here is that you're gonna have to accept.
The very first slave abolition movement was done in Haiti by secular Haitians. The second one, which was right around the same time, was during the French Revolution. And by the end of that, the entirety of France no longer had slavery. However, when Napoleon became dictator, under the orders of the Catholic Church, he reinstituted slavery. But it is the case that other nations saw the benefits that Haiti had after they abolished slavery. And during the short time of the French Revolution, they saw the benefits that they saw coming out of France because out of these two secular nations, they saw the benefits. Christian nations then decided to move towards abolition. But it started with an atheist movement.
Okay, so you're admitting
to end
that Christians. So you are admitting here that it was a Christian movement in the West, like Europe.
No.
Okay, so in England,
France is part of the West.
John
France is
Coffey.
part of the West.
Is John Coffey a Christian or not? I mean, not John Coffey.
Give a fuck.
Who gives a shit about John Coffey?
Isn't
John Coffey the name of the character off the Green Mile?
Not John. I meant.
First and foremost, we need to
John
clear
Newton.
this up. No degree, hold on. First and foremost, slavery still exists.
Frederick Douglass.
Stop. No, oh my fucking god.
Did you just like mistake
transmitted
John
to-
Coffey from the Green Mile with Frederick Douglass?
No, I misquoted. It's John Newton.
Oh my god. Anyway, slavery was transmuted to our prison system. It's literally in the, what is it, the 14th Amendment? Is that
Sure,
which
I
one
don't
it is?
disagree
Or the
with
one that
that.
was in
On
there?
the 13th.
But so it wasn't abolished,
Yeah.
number one. And you think that it was cleaned up or whatever it was you said earlier. How was it cleaned up when we still have not done anything to do right by African Americans in this country? We've done nothing until the late 60s when they finally got civil rights happen. And that was only because they waged riots and all this other stuff because they had to. They had to fight the fuck back. They
None
were
of this is
tired.
relevant to
Like,
my point.
it
I don't
is
know why you're
because
going
you're
off on this.
talking
No,
about
it's not.
Christianity
I'm
as if
saying
it,
that y'all's
oh my
ethics
God, no
come from
degree, you are
Christianity.
fucking
That's the point
insufferable.
here.
Jesus, you're
I'm talking
insufferable.
about y'all's ethics. Y'all believe
Fuck,
slavery's
you are
wrong
so
because
insufferable. You don't like
Christians
answers,
forced
so
the
you
I don't
belief
think
upon
steamroll and
you
you talk
in
over people, and you
America. That's
think that
what I'm
that
saying.
somehow makes you right. You're a
Well,
fucking idiot. You never
I
shut
wish
the
y'all would
fuck up
just,
long enough to
just
actually
won't
hear
stick
anything.
to the
You just
topic.
go
All
to
right.
slick the fuck off and
But you
act
won't
like you
stick
got a
to the
comment
topic.
that
Yeah,
actually
That's
is
bye-bye.
relevant to the conversation.
I don't like it
Well, and no,
when Dugald gets like that. I'm sorry, Dugald. I didn't want to push you that far. What were you gonna say,
I
Cyber?
have. I would say, is France in the West or not? France is part of the West, right?
Yes.
So when he tries to say like it's like this Western thing, it's just like a ridiculous talking point. And I have never heard somebody like fight so hard to apologize for slavery in my life. Like this is his entire like no degree. If you're still here, like jump off this horse. Like the slavery thing is like your
For
entire
real, dude.
like Christian apologetic.
And it wasn't fixed. That was going to be my whole point. We didn't do anything right by these people that we
Right.
enslaved. We didn't do anything right by them. They're still
There's
suffering the effects of what we've
right.
done to them.
Exactly. That was the other thing. You know, like my analogy of pooping on the floor and cleaning it up is not even a good analogy because they didn't fix slavery in the effects of it in America. I believe so. Frodo, I think you're a friendly. So Frodo, you derailed the conversation earlier and got us into talking about virginity and stuff, which was highly disgusting. Anyways, I don't know. Honestly, I'm probably not going to have no degree up on the show any longer, just because it always ends this way.
Generally, anytime I see him on a panel, I'll just be like, guys, I'm a jumping down.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's,
if I
it
don't have
always
anybody else
starts out
to,
okay.
if
It
nobody else is
always starts out
opposing,
fine.
yeah, it does. It usually does start out fine. And then it's just like you realize that he's just like focused on like just the slavery thing or like just abortion, and it's like, what, dude? Like,
Or he just doesn't
you're
listen
allowing
and you
all this
know
other
he's not.
shit.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Well, if anybody else would like to come on, you can join up. I'm gonna do just TikTok only. Oh gosh, here's a fun one. Here's Charles. Hey Charles, how's it going?
Hey man.
Which one do you want to talk about? 1, 2, or 3?
Well, 2.
Okay. So, why do you think Christian nationalism is good?
3 is a landmine. What'd you say?
Why do you think Christian nationalism is a good thing?
Well, can you tell me what Christian nationalism means to you first?
Yeah, so it would be like everybody in America should be Christian. It's that whole idea.
I think the whole world should be one religion. Sure.
I think that no religion should be the way that we go. I think religion is something that has lived out its prime.
Well, let's go with his view though. I want to take his view.
I'm not talking about a forced upon situation. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be nice?
Well, let's say I agree, and we just say it's going to be Islam though, not Christianity. We're just going to make it Islam.
Really? No.
Why not?
Because they want to basically, if we give any one of them a nuke, they're going to immediately nuke Jerusalem. We can't have that.
So we can't.
As
you
if
want
there's
us to
not
be
an Iron Dome. Hold on,
Right.
actually, 1 second, guys.
But you know that's what they want.
One second. I got somebody here that did a super chat. And I want to make sure that they are recognized. Okay, what does it say? It says explain your moral ethics absent of
I'm wrong. You know, maybe I should have picked 3. Go ahead.
God. If your answer is based simply on, hold on. If your answer is simply based on I feel this is right or wrong, then the conversation becomes my preference versus yours. Why does your preference matter more? What? A $10 super chat about objective morality?
Super chats are more interesting than the living person. I get it. I'm starting to get the hint. But no, I'm out of my element with the Christian nationalism. I'm saying, wouldn't it be nice if we had a global? Dang it!
What is that noise?
Yeah, it's going to be Islam. We're going to make it Islam.
We're all brothers and sisters, and we all believe that we're all children of God, like that.
Yeah, Islam.
But except not the. No, it's not Islam. It's in a baseline.
But why?
Not one of the major ones. We're going to need a reform, maybe a reformed Islam. Sure. Something.
But not Islam as it is.
No.
Why not?
Because the Quran is objectively wrong. I read it this summer.
What are we talking about? A hypothetical religion that doesn't exist to be nationalized under?
In order for me to accept Islam, I'd have to be intellectually honest, and intellectual honesty requires.
You could say the same thing for Christianity.
In order to be a Muslim, you have to say the Quran's true, and it's not.
Well, you could say the same thing for Christianity in the Bible. What's your point?
That we I should have picked 2 because yes, Christian nationalism is bad. It's a false religion. No, we shouldn't unite around a false religion. You're right. And MAGA is failing as far as I know. It's kind of like people how they felt towards Joe Biden. You know how the Democrats kind of like, oh God, we don't really like him. Well, that's kind of Republicans. A lot of them are turning that way to say we're not. We don't really. He's kind of like their Joe Biden, right? And then we've got, I think you should just not shame people into unaliving themselves on their misery.
Sounds like you don't have an argument and you agree with all 3 then.
Yeah, sounds like we should be friends. What are you talking? Why are you trying so hard not to be my friend?
Right. Well, part friends, no hard feelings. So.
Well, Charles, I appreciate you.
Yep. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, guys. I think I'm going to close out the show. Oh, you didn't have to leave, but okay, bye.
Can we W Islam for the win though?
No, never. No. Can we not actually?
I can't. I just can't do it.
I'm sorry, but no. But I get what you're saying, and sure. All right. Well, everybody, I think that's it for the show. I'll explain moral ethics, I guess, absent of God. I think that morals are subjective. For the person that sent the $10 super chat, I think that unless you can prove otherwise, morals are subjective, because if I can think something is good and you can think that that thing is bad, then obviously they're not objective. They're not written on your heart. The other part is that we can create objectivity by axioms. We can all agree that schmurder is bad, and then we can set kind of an agreement or an axiom that schmurder is then not allowed, right, for the human race. And then we can, make consequences for that. And that's why laws and things are necessary, because morals themselves are subjective. So beyond that,
I feel like every time I get in the box, you hear boss music playing or something. We got to end the live. Cyber's up here.
Well, it's just nobody ever wants to come up, I don't know. If somebody wants to come up, I'll keep the live going for another 22 minutes. No, Gladney, I don't want to debate you from the chat. You can come onto TikTok. I would have you come on through the URL, but it doesn't seem to be working. It just causes echoes.
Yeah, but without the Trinity, the Trinitarian God, how do you know you got knowledge?
Yeah, he's saying without God, you can't get to the heart of the question. Yeah, you're asserting objective morals. I don't know what else to tell you. Cool.
It's not. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Also prove it. Thanks for the attempt. Anyways, I don't know what to tell you. You're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You can't just force objectivity on something that is subjective.
Right.
You just can't. You can't just say like, well, why is it not good then? Why can't you say something is good or bad objectively? Because I just told you that it's subjective. That's why. You think it's a cop-out that it's subjective. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you through the chat. Sorry. But
Objectives
thank you for
wouldn't
the
have
super chat.
exceptions.
That super chat will go towards a lot of heathens. Some of them are still Christian though. So I do have all the money that comes in through this channel will get put towards building the community of the Deconstruction Junction, which is about deconstructing Christianity, religion in general. It's more than just Christianity. It's Islam. It's all of them. It's about, you know, figuring out what is being indoctrinated and what is truth, right? What are your personal beliefs and what have you been told? It's just, you know, taking it apart, looking at the pieces, and maybe putting it back together, or putting yourself back together, or even finding yourself. This applies also to things like misogyny, racism, bigotry of any type. And even with politics, you can really figure out whether or not you actually agree with what you're like voting for, or whether or not you're just like playing a sports team. So, yeah.
And
If you would like to join the Discord, it is discord.gg/deconjct. What's up, Cyber?
yeah, I was going to say, and to add on top of that, a lot of times it's religion that keeps these constraints on you with misogyny, bigotry. It's religion that keeps these shackles on you. And once you can deconstruct religion, regardless of what faith it is, then you can be able to deconstruct all these other problems that we have self-contained.
Yeah, completely. I like it's definitely. I think it gets the ball rolling. I just watched this like video from another TikTok. Have you guys seen it where it pushed it in my FYP? It was some lady like crying, and she was saying that she's deconstructing her Christianity, and she like is also deconstructing from being like MAGA, and basically just like how that's all kind of shaking out for her. I felt bad for her because she's like, yeah, I'm not going to join any political party or anything after that. Hey, Bowie. And I honestly don't blame her, because like after you deconstruct, like you're just going to need time to figure that kind of stuff out. But if you haven't seen the video, I recommend maybe trying to look it up. I don't know the lady's name, but
And keep in mind, we have a no one cares putting TDS in chat, but they'll never get up here to debate.
yeah, no one. Come on, let's talk. What do you mean by TDS? When I hear TDS, I think of like Trump supporters. Like the delusion is coming from within the house, right?
Trump delusion syndrome.
Mm-hmm. Or derangement, whatever you want to say.
Well, no, they say derangement. We say delusion because they're delusional about him.
Right.
They treat him like they do this Jesus. They make up any excuse.
Yeah, and it's just wild. I don't know like why it's so hard to separate, you know, like yourself from somebody else thinking for you. I get that like it's easy to get easy answers and to just like shout immigrants and stuff, but like I think we're beyond that now. I think that we can move on. We don't have to just like blame everything on immigrants and just like stop thinking from there. I think that we can
immigrants and trans people and
right,
women.
yeah, or yeah. Apparently, trans people and immigrants are the root of all evil. But no, it's not the case. There's a lot more to it, and it's also very much simpler. It's just you got to look at each like kind of topic on their own, and also in the greater aspect of things.
Demographics that I'll point out probably add more to the country than most of these dunderheads do.
Dunderhead. I love that word. Objectives. Oh gosh, they're still talking about morality. You guys are never going to end with that one. I'm telling you.
The only thing objective about morals is the outcomes from any moral decision. That's what's objective. The outcomes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's something that we can observe.
Which is why we go for harm reduction, because we see better outcomes when we go for harm reduction or negation.
Yeah, but are they better outcomes for wasps?
Everyone.
What about wasps?
Everyone. And anything.
I mean, like the animal, not like white.
If you do it upright and you
Anglo-Saxon
follow, if you follow the things, all will benefit.
Fine.
I don't know. I think we're justified in getting rid of the wasps. Bees can stay, but wasps got to go.
I
don't know. Wasps be killing a lot of things that y'all don't like.
Yeah, they also are pollinators. They are pollinators, but all right. I don't want to cannibalize us. So I think we're all in agreement here, and I'm gonna end the show because nobody else is trying to join up, and it's about my time. So
fine, bye.
I love you guys, and I love you too.
Love you too, Benny.
All you guys
love
watching
you
out there.
too.
Appreciate you all. It was a good little discussion. And yeah, honestly, Dougal, I took this idea from you. So just listing things. Okay.
Yeah, well.
Everybody have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.